Welcome to the Bigger Plate where the rubber meets the road and we get straight to it. I want to appreciate y'all for being here on this nice Friday. Last night, had a real good in-depth conversation with different groups of people from all walks of life, from all across the United States, from all across the world, about gender wars. Why is it gender wars have become prominent, relevant? We can't come together as a full, complete community, man and woman, to continue the family structure. Why is it that families have shrunk? The amount of kids in the household is less than two or less, as opposed to in the 60s, it was at least a minimum of 3 or 4. Why is it that man and woman have become so divided? We can't begin to structure how we used to be able to structure, come together as one. What's the reasons? It's so many different perspectives and opinion when it comes to this topic. And last night, we had a conversation about it, in depth, nice, lengthy, long conversation. And we will be addressing it right here today. So, you already know how we do. We give a little synopsis of what we're here to talk about, and then we go into our segments for the day and deal with the really videos and our reactions to it and what we think about it. So right now, you already know what we got to do. We got to start it off with make it make sense.
What's the most a guy should spend on a wedding ring?
I definitely want a huge rock, so I'm gonna guess that it probably costs about at least like $500,000. Does it cost that much? Like diamonds?
I would say maybe like, I don't really know, but I would at least hope somebody's spending like.
Do me a favor. Get in the comments and make that make sense. Why would a man be obligated to spend that ridiculous amount of money prior to him even being aware or even getting to know who you actually are? Why aren't people feeling like this? As long as we connected, as long as we got a good bond, as long as I want to spend the rest of my life with this person, I want to spend the rest of my life with this person, we coexisting, we're able to coexist together and procreate in a comfortable setting. In 3 years, test that marriage, upgrade. The next 5 years, test that marriage, upgrade. To get to that point, who's coming? The delusion is real. Who's coming with a half a ticket off top? Those that's trying to present and lead with money and eventually gonna lose. These facts. It's so sad that people don't put no thought into the actual marriage itself, being married for the duration, as opposed to the ceremony, the wedding, the materials, the diamond, the party. You understand? The part of the marriage that's the good part, the richest, the healthy, everything that's good, as opposed to everything that's bad, the best, not the worst, the healthy, not the sickness, the richest, not the poor, and the person to value themselves. Did you just hear that? A person to value themselves as such. Haven't went through anything yet. It's just like a basketball player getting a $300 million deal and don't have a championship ring. And while doing that $300 million deal, he get hurt. Haven't even proven themselves. So what happened was Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Larry Bird, Julius Erving, Magic Johnson, all these people paved the way and took hits crawl. It's called crawl before you walk, walk before you run, run before you drive, drive before you fly. They took the hits, wasn't getting them big funds, them big deals, them big resources in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s. Now here it is in 2025, big deals, no rings. They had rings and still wasn't getting these type of numbers. So social media has created a very disturbing dichotomy of you can have this, whereas you valuing yourself overvalue. Half a ticket. And we watch these videos all day long. So make that make sense. That's all I want you to do. And if you do that, I appreciate you. All right? There we go. So we have to talk about that associated with the gender wars. We got to go into our next frame. We got to go into our next framework. She said it, I did. We got to talk about it.
The main thing I hear about from men when I ask them what they want from their wife, they always say, I want to feel appreciated for the things I'm doing. And then I ask them, so what are you doing? And they'll list me some things. And I tell them as a woman, she don't care nothing about all that. And they looking like, huh? I said, yeah, a woman don't care about what you just listed, sir. Even without a wife, you would have had a place to stay. So please don't be saying you giving your wife a place to stay. I'm pretty sure you wouldn't have been homeless regardless. So you ain't doing that for your wife. You did that because you're a human being.
It's out of necessity.
And you need a place to stay. Don't say she got a car and I wash it. Sir, nobody cares. Women don't even care about a dirty car. If we really can just go get that washed. Sir, none of the stuff you hitting on does a woman actually care about. Did you ask your wife, since you were married to a woman?
It's very sad that in modern times, the little things don't matter anymore. What woman don't want her husband or her significant other or her fiance to take her car after she dealing with the kids or went to work or clean up a house, to take her car and let her know, babe, I'm gonna make sure your oil change, I'm gonna gas up your car, I'm gonna make sure I take it and get it inside cleaned and wiped down, armor all dashboard, armor all doors, put some smell good in there, armor all the tires, and make sure your outside is glossy and shiny. So when you come outside and you got your white dress on, or you ready to go to the gym and you got your gym uniform on, you don't have to slide up against a dirty car. It's sad that so many of our women have become so superficial that this young lady able to get on a platform, this big stage, and say that, sir, that little stuff don't matter. The little things, when we was a family and had a foundation and it was nuclear, the little things counted. The little things counted. Now, so many people, with so many women saying what she's saying, these things don't count anymore. Because you have a job now that's paying you a significant amount of money, you minimize the role of the man because you think you got an income and you can go pay for it. When it's that tow truck driver that's gonna fix your flat if your husband don't do it. When it's that bus boy that's gonna go and get those dishes after the restaurant and make sure you at a clean table when you sit down at a restaurant, when you in a lounge. Okay, it's your husband. If your husband don't fix that refrigerator, it's a man gonna come out, fix your stove, fix your AC unit, fix your compression, your car when it break down, fix your home ceiling fan, or everything that's breaking down in your home. If the husband don't do it, gonna hire somebody, and 90% of the time, 99.9% of the time, it's a man. So it's very sad that the little things don't matter. Real wives understand that those little things do matter. But if you listen to what this young lady said, she said, ask your wife. How you gonna ask your wife when you the leader and you know how to carry it? This is the problem we're running into in 2025. And as a result, you seeing the negative results and the negative outcomes that so many of our sisters are not being able to achieve. Because you have an elder, I'm not calling you an elder, I'm just saying, you appear to be older. You have someone that's older speaking to the youth, and the youth will attach themselves to their speaking points, those talking points, and they'll find themselves in a situation where all a man want to do is be appreciated. It's the little things. It really is. And if you able to show a man that you appreciate him, he will do everything under the sun to make sure you good. These facts. I'm not capping. I stay away from the cap. I let the rest of the world do the Captain America. I let them have that. We keep it real over here. Your grass is cut. If your husband don't do it, it's gonna be a man do it. Your car's washed. Your car got gas in it. It's gonna be a man that do it. That washing machine in the back, your husband, it's gonna be a man that hooked that washing machine up. That stove go out. It's gonna be a husband that had to put that gas line, that electric 225 plug up in. It's gonna be your husband. That electric car in the back that you driving and you got to get the plug at the house, it's gonna be a man to come in and install that. Your phone break down, most likely it's a man that's a technician. Your house falling apart, your roof caving in, it's gonna be a man. I'm sick of this talk. What more do you want? But she said that. She said that. Again, this where you get the common denominator for gender wars from this. Confusion starts to set in. His role is provision, protection, spirituality. Your role is nurturing, emotional stability, support, bearing children, out the window. Now, I got money too. Damn all that. I don't want that what they had in the 60s. I just want one kid. I'm selfish. Just one. Think about that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Now we got to put you in tune with what's to come. Yeah, it's here. Check it out. Gender wars.
Okay.
Anyway, guys, a difference between men and women, of course, is different. The way we think and the way we work and the way we handle situation. Even the way we choose a woman as a wife. Even when we're working, even when we're dealing with war, is a difference between men and women, of course. The way we're thinking.
Do you speak Arabic in Egypt?
Yes, we speak Arabic.
مرحبا كيف حالك?
I'm good, thank you. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I know a little bit.
Y'all going to the level, huh?
Good.
I
Y'all over there
speak
flexing a little
Spanish and
bit?
Arabic, a little bit of Arabic. I can read it. I can't write. I don't know all the words.
Flex. Y'all over there
Flexing
flexing a little bit.
No, but
Yeah,
there's
it's
definitely
different.
gender is definitely different too. Like depending on
Yes.
culture in Egypt, it's probably definitely very different than the United States too.
Yeah, but I'm not in Egypt now. I'm in the UK. I'm
No,
not
I
in
know.
Egypt.
I'm just saying in terms of like culturally.
Yeah, in Egypt now it's like a 35 or 40 degrees, I think. Something like
50
that. It's hot.
degrees? Oh,
30,
man, it's hot
30,
over here.
30. Not yet. Will be soon. Not yet. Summer is not coming yet.
Where y'all
We're
at?
hot.
Where you at? 80, 85?
Thank you.
80,
I'm hot. Thank you. I appreciate it.
80 degrees. And today it was like 90, 95,
I couldn't
94,
survive in the
95.
UK.
So it's 10 o'clock.
95. I can do 95.
How I survive in UK? Just make some
No,
fire.
sorry,
I
I
will
said I
survive.
couldn't. I just said I couldn't survive in the
Oh,
UK because it's too cold. I like
don't
the
worry.
warmth.
Don't
She said
worry. We have
95.
Yeah, don't worry. We have
Mm-hmm.
too much wood here to burn. It's okay. It will be fine.
Yeah.
Does it get warm?
Yeah, of course it will be warm.
I don't know.
Anyway, it depends what kind of situation about different between men and women. About what? Job or about marriage or about situation or about strongest or about or dealing with situation, or about what about, or is include everything?
Yeah, just everything about how we are the changing. It's a lot changing.
All
It's
right.
a lot of things
Uh,
changing right now between men and women, and just not in America. Is it happening in the UK? Is it happening in China? Is it happening in Asia? You know, is
all
it
right.
happening
First of
in
all, in
Mexico?
my
That's
country, all right, then international in my country, all right, men and women have to be virgin, not messing around. This is the more important about marriage in there. And because the Gershi version, we have something called the mahr, like we give her some gold or something she choose what she like. It doesn't matter how much it is will be when she buy it is belong to her, nobody taking her. Like the wedding ring, what you're buying. Okay, if she is a virgin, if she's not a virgin, it not be that
In the
much.
UK?
Maybe she's divorced, or maybe she is. This I talk about my culture in my country.
Oh, okay. I was just curious.
All right. Yeah, yeah. This is the culture. Is nothing to do with religion. Okay.
Oh, sure.
Because yeah, yeah, yeah. This how
where
it
you
is.
in
And
the
about man,
UK? What part of the UK you in?
I'm from Leicester.
Hey.
Yeah.
You was talking
And
about this culture. In general.
yeah, and in my country, about house or anything like this, like you have to have a house. You have to have be good financially. You have to be provider. Woman as a queen in the house. Most of men don't like any woman to work. Why? Because we don't like any stranger person to tell you what to do this, to do that, do this, do this. When I say something, hey, can you please baby make me sandwich? Ah, I'm so tired today. We don't like that bullshit.
So are you guys women transitioning?
What?
Are you guys women
No,
transitioning into being
no, it's not
liberated in a certain way?
it's not like that. Like we don't like any person do nothing to you, and he never he not provide for you. He never give you anything special. But if your money every month, if you're going to work, and that's it. Like you're listening to him, and you not have a choice. It doesn't matter if he say bullshit about you. He say why you're late. It's a lot of things. I'm a kind of person. I'm a jealousy man. All right. I will never let my wife to work somebody else. If she work by herself, she have an own business, not a problem at all. At least she's the boss. She can control anything. Is no problem. But some person controlling her, nah. And the
I
problem
respect
is
that
the other
view
thing.
only with other cultures because they actually live by it. You know,
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah,
people say that in the U.S., but they not like that.
and
For real.
another things
Well,
is
hold on. Do you
guys.
guys have transgenders and things and feminists over there?
Nah, nah. Listen to me, mate. About transgender stuff like that, I don't want to close your channel. All right.
Yeah,
If
yeah,
you
yeah. We got to be
are,
careful, but you got to say certain
yeah.
words.
If
But
you are, if you are like man, okay, mate. But don't show it to us. You are like this because it's not safe for our kids. It's not safe for all most of the community. If you are this, be yourself secret. Don't show it off. It
also,
doesn't
so
matter
it's,
about man or woman.
it's over there, but it's covert. It's covered up
Yeah.
over there.
It's not popular. It's not popular
They,
like a waste to get. It's
so
not.
they still in the closet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's in a closet. And guess what? Most of them, they are trying to help. Like, if you see somebody like that, we try to help him to be straight. It makes sense. Not just against him or things like this. We let him to take courses. We talk to him about a lot of things to make him to be straight and be like a normal man. And guess what? It works.
How the government feel over there? How you guys government feel about that over there?
It's
About something like that.
Can I
Yeah.
just add one thing too? It's a
Go
little
ahead.
similar to as if like, I mean, Christianity, if we had lived in a theocratic state in a more sense where Christianity ruled law, that would be the similar aspect. If you were really heavy in the church, of course, they would put you in conversion therapy and
Right.
tell
That's
you
what I
that
was gonna ask him next.
you're
That's
being
crazy.
trans is wrong.
That's
But
crazy you
in
brought that up.
Muslim culture, it very much
Man, man, man.
sometimes within their laws.
We not have man is a man, woman is a woman. Something else we don't care about it. This how simple that.
What about she just asked that
But
was
people die because of that too, you know, like
Yeah,
suicide
yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
sure.
Guess what? If some man coming to me and he tell me he's a woman and he want to go to bathroom or he want to talk to my sister or this and that, as a woman, mate, he will be in a grave.
What kind of religion you guys practice over there?
It's nothing about religion. It's nothing to do with religion.
No, I
Is
was
that
just asking in general.
uh,
What kind of religion do you guys practice over there?
we have the most of
Everything,
them. No,
or
no, 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 not everything. Most of them are Christian and Muslims. Like
Mhm.
1% if you see Jewish in there. 1%, like 1%,
Yeah.
like
like,
less than 1%.
so you
In
don't have a
America, we say Chaldean, but it really just means Christian.
yeah.
Most of them are country Christian and Muslim, like a little percent of a Jewish, but not the Israeli Jewish. It's different.
Yeah.
Jewish, like the Arabic Jewish, is different.
Historically Jewish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
understand where he's coming from because my grandmother's side of the family. So in South Carolina, the closest side to the water, there's a group of people called the Gullah Geechees. Those are my great
Yes.
grandparents and stuff
I
like
heard
that.
about them before.
Yeah, those that's where my family is from. My great grandmother, she was one. So they're African. Those are the customs that's what they believe in. So I
You
know
said
what
that
he's
was in
talking about.
Sinners too. A lot of
Uh
the culture, I guess,
yeah,
the
yeah,
writers.
that's why I have different views because I've been kind of
But
pushed
I'm
into
just to say,
that
yeah,
type of thing too.
I'm
Definitely.
Yeah.
sorry for interrupt you. If I'm sorry for interrupt you, it doesn't matter what religion you are. You know,
No,
support
It's
things like
not a
this.
religion.
it's not a
All
religion,
right.
that's a culture.
Yeah.
Yeah, they they
The just
they
the site is just want to make you busy to talk about things because they don't want you what's coming around you. That's it. That's what I want.
But
yeah, my great grandmother was they were Ghanaian. They came from Africa. They didn't even speak. Spoke a language called Cree, I think.
Yeah,
That's what it's
yeah. That's the
called.
language.
That's what they spoke that. Yeah.
They
that's
still
a
they still there, or they
native
travel?
indigenous language.
No, they're still there. They have a festival every year.
Yeah.
One is coming up, and they have one every year. They're still there. The food is they have their own little section.
Or do
They
you
don't
go?
invite
Do
other
you
people
go?
in. Really have to be family.
Do you
Yeah.
go?
Oh yeah.
Oh
Oh yeah.
wow.
I have a friend from high school who has family ties there, and she just did some beautiful photography of her grandmother and other family members. And I should connect with you because I'll have to send you the work she does. She's
Yeah, what
yeah, and then
she put it
there's
out? She put it out
photography.
to the public.
Yeah, and she did a little piece about the Gullah Geechee people.
I love to see it.
But
If
it
you
really
send,
it fascinated me, and I did do a little more research. But I love that you did point that out because there's so many intricate and different ways that we view matriarchy, patriarchy, this and that, and so many factors that go into every individual's case and every situation, that we
So
have.
that's why I can kind of relate to him because like I said, those traditions were passed to me, so I know what he's talking about. But being that I'm here in the United States, it's not that, and so I have to realize that
But
ain't
end
what
of the
that
day,
is. Yeah.
it doesn't matter what I'm saying because that my wife I have, she's not from my country or she was not from my culture. It's different culture, but it's similar. It makes sense, but a different country. Like my wife, she is Romanian. She is not British, Romanian British. Like it's nothing to do with my. But she's a Muslim. This is the most of but for me. She's a Muslim lady. It doesn't matter what we are. Muslims that are know each other. It doesn't matter where you're from. We know that way that are thinking. It makes sense.
Could she be on
Yeah.
live right now with like a couple guys and girls in a chat?
Say
Or
again.
would that be a problem? I said, well, could she go on her live and do like chat and have you in
No,
the
no,
room, or would
never,
that be
never,
not?
never, 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 never something like that. No, she knows my rules.
Peace, y'all.
Interesting.
Real quick, I just switched up the format, the panel, just
we
so
had,
they can see
we
in
had
bold letter
somebody.
what the topic of the conversation is. That's why I
I can
switched
pull
it
it.
up.
I'll pull it up, son. Cause we had some more people there, but I think they got kicked out. I'm trying to see where they had fell out before we got in. What's up, standing on business? How you doing? Can you hear me?
He just muted. He'll unmute in a minute.
Man, I'm good, brother, man. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, we can hear
Can you
you.
hear
Yeah,
me?
we can hear you.
Yeah, we had lost
Can you
somebody.
hear
I
me?
add another topic or
Go
thing.
ahead.
Okay.
So I find it interesting. talking about, and you didn't say that you practiced a specific religion, but looking at different religions, Christianity and Islam together, it's interesting about just during the 15, 16, 1700s, the amount of brutality that women endured throughout Christianity. And I think it's interesting in the Quran, it outlines divorce, alimony, where assets go if
Listen to
somebody
me. All right.
goes
Okay.
through a
Okay.
situation. And if a
About
woman or a man disrespects the other, it's all outlined, and there's a feminist approach there, and the existence of divorce is to the Quran and Islam.
Can I tell you something?
So I
Can I
thought
tell you
that was
something?
interesting because a lot of
Yeah.
people say
Can I
it better.
can I
Yeah,
tell you something? Do you
sure.
know? Do you know? Do you know? In my religion, all right. You know, if that woman she didn't respect her man or he slapped him in his face or things like, she's not his wife anymore. You see
Well, if
how
he cheats on
serious
her
it
as
is?
well, I mean,
No,
she
no,
can
if she cheat,
divorce him
listen to me. Cheating
and get money.
is no good. But if he want to marry another one, he have to ask the first one. But most of Muslims don't rather to have just more than one wife. Why? Because if you have to, you will never
Yes.
treat him the same. Like it's impossible to treat him the same. You have to have a favorite, and this is what is a little bit tricky. This is most of Muslims don't like married like more than one. Because if I married one, it's already give me headache. I don't want another headache. That makes sense.
Yeah, you can marry up to four, but you have to be able to afford it, and it's
It's not about
revered to have one.
I
You
can
should have
afford
one, of
three. I can afford three, but
course.
it's not my things. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Because that woman I have, this is how the test is. Woman get test when that man struggle.
Can you guys see that title or not really, or can you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
got it.
yeah,
We
yeah,
see
yeah.
it.
Yep.
But we cannot see your face,
Well,
just
I
your
was trying
eyes.
to. That's why he was
You can
trying to
see a
switch
little
it.
bit.
We were
You
trying
see
to,
Yeah.
that.
because they won't allow me to put that title on the thing. So it's okay. I just
You
trying
know
to.
what to do? Do you know what to do? What you do is open another account, all right, and you be the host and invite yourself to another account, all right, and you can see leave the topic more easy.
Yeah, but I don't want to. Then I'm gonna have to block somebody out because they don't let me use but nine. So I don't want to. It's okay.
Anyway,
We'll
yeah,
keep
about
going.
marriage, guys. About marriage, if I am married, all right, and I divorce my mom, my wife, and she have a kids, I'm responsibility where she live and to pay her rent and to
Yep.
responsibility for the boy. All right, as a man, we're not
Hmm.
going to child support or all that kind of stuff. If you go into child support, I promise you, you'll not get penny. That's how it is. Respect to the man. It doesn't matter what he did. It doesn't matter what you do. If you respect each other, okay, we have situation. But about marriage,
He's so unequal.
yeah, yeah, it's equal but a different way. It makes sense.
I
Like
think you
for
got a
me,
bad connection. I
No,
think.
It's high
I
on.
think
It's high on respect. It's a
I think
respect
it's
thing.
the doctrine is equal. I think your perception of it with
yeah,
your
but
wife
it depends. It
personally
depends.
is
Like
unequal.
for me, I'm a kind of person. I like to stay at home because my wife she make me love my home. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm at work now. Okay, I'm at work, and the best things about finish work to go home. Why? I know 100% she was be tired because she look after the baby. I go there. I know she didn't sleep properly, and I have to help her out. Take the kids, make her breakfast, stay with her at least for 2 hours, to sleep 2 hours straight away, and then when she wake, I go to sleep. First, I want to hug, kiss. House is already clean before she sleep. All right, it's something to make you love. The reason I
Well, it sounds
chosen
like she's
her
a
and I give her,
wonderful woman, and she
that's it,
does those things,
that's
and
it,
I get that. I would want to do that for
that's
somebody,
it.
but if they spoke about me or thought about me that way, then I would not want to do any of that for
But
them.
the problem is most of women wanted that treat, but they don't want to give him what he gave you that treat. She did a lot of things for me to give her that treat. It makes sense.
What
Mm-hmm.
treat?
Treat example. All right, we are as a man simple, very very simple. We like peace. We like appreciate it, and we like we are the hero in the house or your hero everywhere. make us our hero.
But
It
you
makes
won't get
sense.
peace if you can go on live and talk to girls and she can't. And you can go to work, but she can't. And you can do certain things. And like you're restricting it and saying this because you provide these things. But all of those things, without recognizing it, you have an internal desire to be creative, do these things, talk, and whatever else. And if you can't trust that she can contain herself, like, then you're showing that you don't trust her to, like, I don't know.
It's not about that. The reason I
I'm
enjoyed
sure
the
you
life
trust her, but
because
it's like, why not just let her, like not put
she's
so much
sleeping.
pressure on her?
Do
I'm
you
not lying.
guys
She's
think you can
sleeping.
stay over in the Christina and Lane? Do you guys think you can stay over in the
I
UK?
want to go give her a hug. I love your wife. She is so cool. From
Guess
Romania,
what? This is
too.
the
I
reason.
can read
Anyway,
Romanian, too.
she
Cyrillic.
yeah. She's Romanian,
Connect
and the way she presents
and
herself,
girly.
I'm the kind of person that like makeup in the face. I hate makeup. She don't like. I don't like makeup. I don't understand. Any girl put makeup in her face, I will never attractive to me.
Nah,
Never.
what you feel about makeup, bro? They've been wearing makeup since the beginning of time. Talk to me. Even in the
I don't wear
UK.
makeup, but I love when people really they can
Because
express themselves.
makeup is a lie.
What you mean?
Makeup is a lie.
You have a mask
When a
on.
woman put makeup, all
You have a
right,
mask.
this is mean she's not secure. She think it make her beautiful, but it's not. It make her more.
Can you turn your camera off? Or turn your camera
Me?
on? Yeah. So we can see what you
Why?
look like. Because you've got a
Nah,
mask on your face.
you said makeup. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Makeup not alive. Makeup been around for thousands of
I got
years.
my natural face on here with no makeup on. You can click on it and see what I look like.
I'm saying by general, okay? I
It
say
go
Oh.
in
back
real
to
life.
Egypt. Both men and women used to use makeup. I do a lot of research, bro.
Yeah, Egyptians really like invented
Listen,
I don't
listen.
makeup.
just
They
get
used
on
to
here
use
and do no
charcoal and
Some
turn it
talking.
some
into
yeah.
eyeliner.
Look, we have,
Egypt literally started makeup. Think about it. Think about Cleopatra. Think about the makeup she used to do with the blue
but
eyeshadow that
Cleopatra,
she used
she's
to
not
Yeah.
make.
Egyptian.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, good point.
She's
Okay,
not Egyptian.
but still, at the end of the
She's not
day, where
Egyptian.
were
Well,
those
you mean
supplies? The
like if you
supplies
put
were
a
in
lot
Egypt.
on, then that's different. But we don't mean like
The
Yeah, every
charcoal,
person
the
is different.
eyeliner shit they
And
were
guess
doing.
what? In Egypt, you have same men, you have men like opposite as well. But for us as a culture, we don't like respect this man. Like
I
when
have
you
a lot of
say
family
him in a
from
girl,
Iran, and they love makeup. I'm just saying, they
yeah.
live in Toronto
Yeah,
now.
so
But
you gotta enhance.
every man, I'm telling you now, if you ask any man, they are prefer natural.
my
We
uncle's
prefer
name is
natural.
Ahmed, and my aunt, his wife, he's from Iran. He wears makeup all the time. And I don't think he cares about it. And he's Muslim too.
Anyway, I'm talking about my what I like.
Yeah, I know, but it's just
All right,
about you.
and
You're
I
talking
know
about
10 friends like me like the same things what I like, and the friends
a
as
lot of
well.
men
Like,
are think like that. I know that's the
yeah,
problem.
a lot of men. This is and the problem is most
I
of the
agree.
women bought makeup because not for men,
I
because
know.
they are fighting each other about who's beautiful.
Well,
And I
let's
really
see.
Like it
like,
for
Let's see what
themselves.
the
It's
let's see
ridiculous.
what
You're
the
fighting it
ladies
for the
think
men.
about makeup. What you ladies think about makeup?
I very seldomly wear makeup. Like it's almost like
I'm gonna wear makeup every day now.
I don't. I barely
I
wear
never
makeup.
do. I'm gonna start
I
because of him.
it is very seldom. Like it's almost like
and
I
guess
I'm putting
take
it
what?
on
care of
Don't
right
my
worry,
now.
skin
I'm
so
not looking
well.
at you anyway.
I don't even have to have it. If I
Thank
put on
you.
something it's like a tinted sunscreen, it's not even makeup. So I don't yeah, I'm not a makeup person. I don't do the eyelashes because first off, I won't be able to see. I let someone do that on my
You wear
eye
them all
one
the time.
time and I just felt
You
like
can
I was
still see.
fighting for my life. Oh yeah, I
You
did.
probably because you probably just not used to
I
it.
felt like I was fighting for my life. My
Yeah,
sister
you fight
left
for
some
your
on my
You
life.
sound like Marjorie Taylor Greene talking about Jasmine Crockett. Don't do it. We love
But
black
my
people.
sister left
do
some
you know
on my
what is the
finger
Oh.
one
lashes
day,
reason?
y'all.
Do you know what is the reason for the lashes, guys? Eyelashes?
Yeah,
Do you know what is the reason?
they're I know what they
They're
are.
cute.
Yeah.
They look cute, and I like
No,
them.
No,
do
they
you know
don't.
what who it
No.
They
created? Do you
do.
know who it
They
created?
do.
Do you know what it created?
I love
They were
makeup. I
created
love the
for
lashes. I
sex
love the
workers.
makeup. I love the
They were great
eyeshadow.
also because I don't
I
have
love
eyelashes.
makeup.
Eyelashes were created for sex workers to catch something from getting in their eyes.
No.
Good.
Yes,
That's
you're
what I
right.
need.
You're right.
What?
What? It's a
Shit.
lot of you don't know what's in the air nowadays. I'm just saying I could use an extra filter. We got Donald Trump. cutting down trees, building data centers, emissions are up, carbon footprint is going down. You don't know. You might need some extra eye protection.
Yeah,
You
that ain't
know,
working for me, baby.
I'm
oh,
just saying, I just don't want to sit here
shit.
and be agree with this dude who's like, I'll never let my wife. If my wife, imagine his wife at home right now. She's like, babe, I want to put on some mascara. He's like, lay the fuck
Guess
down.
what?
Like,
Guess what?
imagine what's going on in his
It
If she
works
house.
for
wants,
them
Like,
though.
if she want to
I
wear
don't trust
makeup, if she
him.
want to wear makeup, if she want to wear makeup inside the house, not outside the
You
house.
go divorce. He's like,
No, no,
I'm
no,
gonna
no, 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 no,
reinvent
no, no,
this.
no. If she wants, no, no, no. I'm being serious. Like sometimes she's bought
Please.
makeup. I'm not gonna lie, but if it's inside the house, it's not a problem. But outside the house, no.
I'm so proud of you. So you do like makeup. You just
No,
bring
if
it
she
home.
want to, if she, because she, end of the day, she's a girl, she's a lady. She see a lot of things because the TV, everything around her, makeup is normal.
So she runs a makeup beauty brand, and you're so happy for her to run her own business. And she's supposed to go do a debut, and you're standing behind her, and you're mad because she's on camera and she has makeup on.
He
Like, how
making
is
this
she gonna
statement
promote her
based
brand?
off religious standpoint. This is what he coming from. He's not just saying that, but
He's from the
he
UK.
basing his opinion off religious standpoint.
No, he said it was not about religion. He didn't even disclose his religion.
He's a
No,
Muslim.
I'm a Muslim. Yes, I
Right, that's
am.
what I was trying to get at, and he wouldn't tell
Yeah,
me.
but
But that's
makeup it
okay.
should
I
be.
love Islam. I read the Quran, so that's why
Yeah,
I'm like not
but
understanding your point of view.
what I learn is the makeup is created for a woman to wear for husbands, not to show off. That's it. If you bought makeup, you want to look beautiful. Should be your first person who your husband, nobody else. This is how I
Okay.
see it. If you
I
do it
say it.
outside, you
Inshallah.
wanted
That's how
attention.
I see it.
You wanted attention.
Whatever he
You want
thinks.
some person tell me, "Oh wow, you look nice today." This is what most of women like. Attention.
No, somebody. Let me see if I can get them back.
That's it. This is how I see it now these days.
I guess we'll get them. We'll.
Sometimes. What about a woman who decides to take makeup and put on black lipstick and then put on the worst makeup she could ever wear, and it's
Huh?
not cute? So is it for attention or is it for? I'm just saying, like,
Say again?
what if somebody does have to do with you if you don't have to deal with washing it off your face? I don't know what. I just don't get it.
I don't
So
understand
guys,
you.
how do
I'm
you
sorry. Can you repeat
feel?
again?
Thing to have an
How do
opinion
you?
about.
So we talking about, I guess, like the topic is gender wars. So
Yes.
what are things that you feel like that's in the public, whether it's political, whether it's social? What do you think is a gender war? So like one thing that I can say that's a gender war is reproductive rights. How do you guys feel about reproductive rights?
And women should be able to do whatever they like to do with their bodies. If you need to get an abortion, for example, I had a miscarriage.
And guess
And I
what?
had to
And guess
do
what?
a ectopic pregnancy, and I had to get a DNC. I didn't want to, but I was. They were like, "Shit, the baby is ruptured."
And another things for a man, when he choosing the woman, he always choosing the woman, and he always looking for the best, not the
Yeah.
future. And woman he always looking for the future. This is the difference between men and women when you choose a woman.
How do you feel about abortion?
I'm not with it 100%. Nah.
Okay, so what about my example? When I say I had a pregnancy, I was 3
Listen
months.
to me. Do what you
Baby
do. Do
developed in
what
my
you do.
fallopian tube and will die, or I will die, but the baby will automatically die because when the baby is reached 6 weeks,
You
if it
gotta say
reaches the
unalive,
fallopian tube,
ma'am.
it's
You
too
gotta say
big
Listen
to
to me.
unalive.
be
Listen to me. I
curious.
don't want to talk about this
Unalive.
You gotta
because
say you can't say certain
because
words here. You gotta say
Oh, I'm
because I
sorry.
Unalive.
think
Unalive.
So a
I'm
DNC
sorry. I'm
is a
sorry. I'm
word
sorry.
for
I'm sorry.
submersion, and that you have to get one or you will die. Regardless, the
Say
baby's gonna die.
unalive,
Oh,
baby.
Or
okay. It's
DIE.
different. It's
So
different.
I'm just
It's
wondering.
different
It's
when
not
some person
different because
sick.
nowadays in America they're trying to say that it's the same, and you can't get
No,
one of
it's not the
those.
same. If you are think your
No,
life is dangerous, if you think your life is dangerous, all right, and you have to get rid of the baby, it's not a problem because I have a sister. She did the same thing because she had a problem.
yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
I
what they're
don't
trying
think
to
he's
change the
saying. I
law.
don't think he's
Uh,
saying that there's an issue with having that when it comes to your health. Because
that's
I'm
it.
against.
That's it.
That's what the
I'm
law
against.
is
That's
right
it.
now.
100%.
I'm
I
saying
know
right
what it is
now
right
that's what
now.
they're trying to change.
Yeah,
I
when
know
it
what
come
it
when
is
it
right
come
now.
into your health, when you come into your health, is not a problem. But if you want to, because it's one night stand, is your fault, your responsibility.
No, this
Let the
is
man
with my
in.
partner of 10 years. I met when I was 18. I'm pretty almost, but
I mean, the
yeah,
sister done went straight to
because
the hard question.
I'm just curious because that's a
What's more?
situation where if under Trump's law, if I was in, let's say, Georgia, I would have been dead. So I'm just
You can't.
curious.
You got it.
Okay, well, you would have been smoked. Don't come to Georgia. You
Right.
would have been
So if I had
smoked.
lived there and I didn't have access to go drive out somewhere, and if somebody had even snitched on me for doing so, they could have been arrested. So that was what was going on in his first presidency. And then now they're trying to change it. So even Medicare is dropped for all women, period. But then even if you're pregnant, you don't get it. And it doesn't have to do anything now with how much you make. It's just
but
disability. You only get it if you have a
but
disability. But if you're
in
pregnant,
another way, all right, in another way around as well, what I'm thinking, when a woman she decide to get rid of that, right? Why I cannot take child support for 18 years? Because if
I'm sorry, I had to mute you guys because we have to say unalive. We can't use certain words or it'll kick us off the live. So you have to
Yes.
say unalive
sorry,
when referring
I'm
to,
going down and up again. All right,
and
I'm going down and
when
up again.
referring to the D words, we have to say unalive. So you
Okay,
can't
all right,
say the D words.
okay, all right, okay. What I'm trying to say is different when a woman doing something like that. If he's get rid of it, all right, is her body her choice. But when she choosing it, men have to go to child support, and maybe if he didn't pay child support, he'd get arrested. For me, I think it's double standard, and it's not fair as well.
I agree with you. It is a
This
double
is the
standard.
another things. This is the another things. Like I see it like it's not fair.
What you think, Chi-Town?
Believe in Motions
These words is priceless.
right, this will hurt men too.
Nah,
when
you
a
good.
wo-
Go
when
ahead.
a
Go ahead, bro.
when a woman life is is in harm, or when you can't afford it. I mean,
Mm.
That's pretty
it's
much
it's a hard
most people can't.
pill to swallow. You know,
See, I'm against it
it's
when it's like you just doing it because you just messed up. This is why you shouldn't be sleeping around.
I
You
agree.
got to be careful with your
no,
womb. This is what women are not understanding. Be careful with where you lay your womb.
But a lot
Be
of men
careful with who you invite into your
press
womb.
these
I'm
abortions too. I think it's not
Yeah,
even
I'm
a woman's
totally
choice.
against just that.
I think a lot of guys are. It's like people always say it's always a woman's choice, but I'm like, there's a lot of guys out here asking for that thing. Sorry for the word.
yeah,
Yeah,
we
but
might be.
you as a
Yeah,
woman, you have to be
Not for me,
men
but
men
just in
men
general.
will sleep with a hole in a wall. You have
Mm-hmm.
Under
to
no
Well,
circumstance
no,
would I sleep with a
exactly.
hole in the
But
wall,
all I'm
ma'am.
saying is,
I'm not
Period,
saying
Chef.
you, baby. I said
Period,
right.
Chi-Town.
don't get me
But there's a
Chi-Town,
lot
stand
of
up.
men.
Chi-Town, stand up.
There's
don't
a
get
lot
me.
of
I ain't
men
talking about
pushing
you.
these laws and opinions
But hold on, to see
I'm
that's
saying
who
the war
probably asked a couple girls once or
between
twice.
genders. Why do women always think that a man, when y'all talk when y'all have discussions about men or just this topic, gender wars in general, that y'all put men at the most littlest, minute,
Hey,
respective way
baby,
I'm
that
no, we're
y'all
saying
not
it
can.
talking
affects
about
y'all too.
everybody.
It
I'm
affects you
saying
guys too.
there's a
can I
lot of
say?
men that would
Some
just go
flaws.
for anything. And you as a woman, if you're a
And
woman of a
as
high
well as well,
standard and
and a
you
woman as
believe
well.
in values, you gotta and you believe in some certain things, you have to protect yourself different because
Yeah,
there's men out here that will just go for that. They don't care.
that's my point. Is that if it's
You have to
illegal,
protect yourself.
men
You have to
will.
take some accountability within
There
yourself.
will
You
be
have
a
to
lot
say,
more
hey, look,
children.
I'm
Can
going to
I ask you
protect myself
something?
differently.
Can I ask you
That's
something?
true.
All
Yes.
right. What about woman? She like to go to any vegetable store.
Huh?
Do what now?
A vegetable
Now you
store.
gotta try to hold on. We can't.
Same thing.
Let's try to speak a little slower so we can understand you.
What about a woman going
Saying
to a
is about women going to a vegetable store.
A vegetable store. What is that?
yeah, like a
Yeah, because
vegetable
she
market?
is. Yeah, because he said any hole in the wall. All right. We say sometimes women like to
Yeah,
go to a vegetables.
Oh,
he trying
it's
to talk
All
to
right.
another
I
idiom.
Yeah.
got
trying to
you.
talk
Why
to
cannot say
Yes,
that?
there are women like that too.
Uh,
There's
That's
men
it.
like that. There's women like that, but we have to protect ourselves. If you know you come, you have different values, and you know you don't stand on nonsense like that. You have to protect yourself. You have to protect your seed. I always speak on this. Protect your seed and protect your womb.
But that's acknowledging that there is a problem there. So if women
There
have
is
to
a
protect
problem.
themselves, it is because there are men that they are,
There's women too.
so if you don't, you're deciding, okay, well, right, exactly. But the emphasis on, okay, we should know better and we should protect ourselves. Yes. But all I'm saying is, like, in terms of these laws, if they're passed, I bet you most women want to keep, and a lot of men don't. There's a lot of men out here that I can tell you, I have a sibling that's probably had three, and he's a man. But I know I would have three nephews and nieces running around if that wasn't the law. Me, no. My sister, no. But if that word or that thing that people do, right, to get rid of the child didn't exist, I would probably have a good, maybe. I have two brothers, so I don't know, 7.
Can I ask a question? Why are we
And then
having kids by people that we don't intend
they
to
don't
at
have
least?
kids. That's what I'm saying.
It
What
ain't
I'm
it ain't
saying
about
is,
us
why are
They
we
having
not?
the
a
woman and
kid.
they pay
It's
for the
just at the
thing,
moment
and
that
that's
thing's
what I'm
so
saying.
good, and y'all
Men are
realize,
the ones
dang,
getting these
I don't
things.
even want to be with this
Women
person.
don't really get them. Women don't
That's
want
what
to
that
get them.
is.
The men don't have the money to provide for a baby, and
So what you
But
say,
I'm
they
Chi-Town?
ask the woman to get an abortion.
I said it's not that we
Oh,
don't.
sorry.
I mean, everybody always talk about why we doing this and why this happening, why this happening. You can fall in love with whatever gender that the opposite gender of yourself, and down the road you feel that, oh, this person loves me and this and that, and 9 times out of 10, their whole agenda will change, their attitude will change, mentals will change, their level of understanding of life may change towards, their aggression level may change towards. And now you talking, and a lot of people be talking about how you fall in love with him because in the beginning, or how you fall in love with her because in the beginning that person want the same. That's why it's
Yeah,
a lot of,
that's why these things should exist. But I'm just saying that
what
they
should
didn't.
exist.
It's
No, that's
not
not
because
true.
it's
That's not true. I don't think
because
that
most
should
of them.
exist.
Because you're
Yeah,
saying that the people are going to do it anyway. They keep getting into
No,
these
the
situations
vetting process is
unless we
so
all become
small.
enlightened.
It's the window of the vetting process now is so small. If we vie for two dates, we talking about marriage after that. That
Right.
is
So you're saying
crazy.
what? You're saying ban it, and then everyone
No,
has to be.
I'm saying
marriage.
vet the person that you're talking to first.
Right. But I'm saying in the meantime, right now with the laws and everything else, you're saying just ban it, or you're saying
No, because you
throw.
got some weird people out here. No, I just post somebody
Lana,
who.
Lana,
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's my whole
can
point.
I tell
No,
you
no,
something,
no.
guys? Can I tell you something? My wife, I know her for 3 months. Okay, after three
Say
months,
that
I
again.
marry her.
We didn't hear you.
We already
My
said
wife,
3 minutes ago.
I know her for 3 months. After 3 months, I marry her. You know why? Because I ask her specific questions. I tell her what you want, what you do, what you this, what you that, what you this, what that. And I ask, and the way she talk, the way she present, the way she treat her brother, the way she treat her dad, the way she treat her family, is a lot of things to see the way she treating the people around her before I marry her. This is the reason. This is the man. If a man wants something and go
3 months.
easy, find the easy woman. All right, but if a woman want to marry, you don't understand how many times he think about that girl, the way she talk, how her friend is, the way she friend. What about her social media? What about the post she posting? It's a lot of process, man. If he want to choose a woman to marry, he was searching for it before he talk to you or say hello to you.
Right,
Just
but
to let
that's
you
only
know.
90 days. I mean, a lot can change in 90 days.
Less than 90 days, I'm telling you now, less than 90, after 2 months of man know the woman, he know if he can want her as a wife or not. After 2 months, I
Yeah,
promise you
I can
that.
play a game for. I can play
I
a game
agree
for 3
with
months.
that. No, after
Nah,
90 days, normally
nah.
people cannot maintain a false, they can't maintain anything after 90 days. That's why you say, oh, people change and then but you hop into bed with them so quickly that you can't even see who they are for a second. You don't give yourself time to see who they are because now you've mixed in
Yeah,
smecks and now you can't see that person. But you
but
can
Can I,
see that person if you actually pay attention. After 90 days, you cannot maintain being fake. You cannot.
can I
You will
tell you
see that
something,
person
ladies?
within 90 days.
Can I tell you something, ladies? Most of Arabic men doing it. All right, this is like surprise for the lady. You know, sometime a man before he married the woman, all right, he decided to go to her house, and she see how when she wake up from the bed to see how she look like, because when he wake up in the morning to see what kind of face he will dealing with. This is most of men.
Okay, so
I'm
but you
one of
already
them.
know what he looks like because he doesn't wear makeup.
Guys,
Right.
I'm telling you now, most of men, all right, in Arabic culture, they are going to that lady or that woman he wanted to marry, all right, and see how when she wake up in the morning, how she look like.
Beautiful. I'm so proud of you. Well, that's so nice. I mean, well, so are you saying you're sleeping in bed with her before marriage, or you want
No,
to
no, no,
sleep?
no. To see how she look like.
Yeah, right. But before you're married, I thought you said you were Muslim, so I would assume you didn't have premarital sex.
Yes, I
But you,
didn't do something, but I'm allowed to
so
see her.
oh, but did she, okay, so question. Did she move from Romania, or she just originally is from Romania and you guys met in the
Look,
UK?
I met her in the UK, in England.
Oh, cool. Okay. What is a Romanian? Do they speak Romanian or is it a different language?
She speaks English, but
Come on,
she's
ladies,
originally
y'all.
from the country.
I'm getting a tone as if y'all ain't never had a one night stand before. That's the tone y'all putting out here.
Me, no.
Never had a one night stand. No, I have not.
Who said that? No,
No,
Christina,
I
I
said
haven't.
no. I'm not. I
Christina.
don't think I should get
I
that
have
tone.
not.
No,
No,
I
You have
haven't either.
you.
You got
Are
some
you
real
serious,
respectable women
I
in
Christina?
here,
have life.
Chantel.
I am serious. I've never
How
had a
these
one
Hold
night
women been
on,
stand.
married
hold
and stuff
on.
like that?
Hold on. Are you serious?
No, no,
Yes.
No,
no.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. She talking about some yes.
That's probably more common for men than it is for women.
Cap.
No,
Cap.
not true.
You got a
Uh-uh.
one night
Because of what you
stand,
got
but
to
at the
do
I'm
with a
same
not
time,
man,
it's
right?
like
who about to be just opening themselves up like that?
Well, you guys are just respectful, but for the most part, we out. You know, it's
But
going
I
on
know some
outside.
people that have.
Yeah, it's going
I
on.
do.
no. I was just grilling because I was curious about that part. I was
Somebody
like, for
breaking
3 months,
up.
I gotta spend the night before
Somebody
I
in the
see
middle.
you. Like, okay.
Somebody and been like, damn,
Somebody.
y'all over vibing with each other.
But you could be, yeah.
Y'all
I mean,
feeling
there's
good and
been
y'all
situations
you ain't think like, damn, am I gonna cancel on tonight?
you really like somebody, and then you're like, okay, and then it happens, and then you go,
That's
okay,
all.
well, maybe not, And I'm like, well, I guess you could consider that. But you might get to know somebody really well and really vibe with them, and then wait, and then you go, oh shit, you know what? Friendship was the best option.
Yeah, I'm not wasting myself like that. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm not, yeah, but
Nah, I was
that's
just
not the
messing.
first time you meet somebody. You might
I'm
just
just
meet
messing
one
with you,
time,
Christine. I was
and
just messing with
Okay, baby.
yeah, never do that again.
And guess what, guys? Men and women never be friends anyway.
you. Hey, Christina, you gonna call me or no? You ain't gonna call me.
Never be no virtuoso.
You gonna
Call
call
you.
me?
Sure.
I sent you my number. Yeah, I sent you
I
my
ain't
number.
tell
You
you
told me
that
you was
because
gonna
you ain't
call
sent me
me.
no number.
Y'all.
Now why you super lying over here?
Nah, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I'm just playing. I seen somebody in the comments. I think they was liking on me. Look,
I am
now
not.
she strolled. Now she
I'm
strolling
not.
up. Where is it? Where is it? Who is that? No, I'm just playing. But I think the real battle of the genders right now on TikTok and over, over
Baby,
social media is
ready?
is two. It's about the
Huh?
submission word
Yep.
and about this
Honestly,
50-50 thing. I think that's a lot
a
of
woman will
conversation
submit to
behind
you
those two.
if you're doing everything you're supposed. They'll naturally do it. It's
Mm-hmm.
not. I don't understand why you even asking people to submit to you when they're gonna do it if you're doing what you're supposed to do.
It's
They're
always
gonna
the
do
people
it. Well,
asking
not
who
all
fail.
women, not all
Dessert.
women, because there
Yeah.
are
But it's
some tough
different
ones
is
out here. There's some tough ones out here. Like there's some entitled, mean, bitter. There's some out here. I've seen it in work, but for a certain type of woman, she's gonna automatically just let you go ahead and leave because we don't want to do that crap anyway.
but is another thing as well. Men, when he want to do something like that, he want to make sure you didn't do this for some person for free.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Why you guys think we so like right? Why you think we so disconnected? And it's not just America? Like, why men and women become so disconnected? Why do you guys think we are so disconnected? I'm looking at
because
how
because
bad divorces go, and it get real nasty when you see, like, we can be best friends, right? But
Yeah.
soon as we go left, it get nasty to a point where people, I don't want to use the word, but you guys get it. But why do it get so nasty? Just because we gone these separate ways. Why are we so disconnected right now? It's so many women I know, after doing research and talking to people over these last couple of years, not married or don't want to get married, or they don't want 9 kids or 7 kids or 4 kids or 2 kids. They want one. And really, in reality, just think about, if you have one child, that's very selfish. But a lot of people don't see that. But they be like, I'm one and done. Why you guys think we so disconnected?
Because I think people are looking for 100% in everybody. You're only going to get maybe between 75 and 80% of
Perfection.
a
You think
person.
everybody looking for
You're not
perfection?
going to get, everybody's looking for perfection because they're looking at reality TV, they're looking at this, they're looking at that, and they feel like, hey, I can get that. My man gonna come riding on the horse and bring me flowers, or my woman gonna do. That's not reality. That's not reality. Because most of the times, women have to work too, men have to work. We have to. It's teamwork. We have to have teamwork, but we also have to have respect. Another thing is people are constantly looking over the fence because they feel like that grass over there is greener, but grass is green where you water it at. Not half of that stuff you're looking across the fence on is painted grass anyway. That's golf course
Of course,
grass.
right.
You have
You
to
have to.
water something that you want.
I think too. That's exactly right. Like, but additionally, that women and men only deal with one another outside of like people who are LGBTQ and everything else. But so
That's la la
women
land
pick up
living.
on
I'm
one
not even
thing,
gonna talk about them ABC.
and men. Well,
Anyway,
no, it's
I
cool.
don't. Yeah.
But I say men talk about men notice things about women, women notice things about men, and then there's these paradigms where we have gender wars, and so then we realize it's all common ground. We do get along. We obviously fraternize with one another and everything else in terms of just the vibes of masculine and feminine, whatever else. But it's like, so people are so easily triggered because of course we all have our distinct personal experiences, and it's all with the other gender. Like, every woman only has trauma if they're a straight woman from men, and vice versa. Obviously, outside of siblings, family, whatever else, So I think that drives our kind of passion, and I think it happens in every other kind of debate where we talk about religion or race, gender, and things like that. That's why people get so um, intense about things. I think it's just because we're pushed to one side because we're only experiencing it from the other side, and then we corroborate with our other women, and the men corroborate with their other men, and they notice these certain things, and it doesn't necessarily apply to every single woman or every single man, but based
I,
off of the way that we
I
perceive it.
also believe that people need to stop telling other people what to do when they're speaking from their views of things. Your what you go through may not be what somebody else is going to go through. We have
Yeah.
to stop giving advice to people because we went through something, and we have to learn to be quiet and just let people live their lives. We internalize what other people go through. You're not even operating in your authentic self anymore. You just became that person. Nobody's authentic anymore. Well, few people are, but a lot of people aren't because they've embodied somebody else's pain, and it's not even their path to take.
So how do we get to a point, if we let everybody live their life as a community? How do we get to a point of correction? How do we help correct each other?
Well, when I
Some
talk
people,
about LGBTQ, I
some
am a
people
little
willing
bit.
to learn and listen
Process.
and learn. Others may not be, might can't reach them. So how do we get to the point where we help correct some of these things that's going astray?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Yes.
To me, first of all, if you want to everything be like a normal and woman not be single anymore, first of all, close all the nightclubs and pubs. Okay, all right. Don't let women and men to go somewhere they can share in together anything. They have to be separate. All right. And when men want to reach woman, if you want to reach me, you have to talk to my dad or my brother or whatever it is, because men know men when we know if you are a good man or not. When you sit down with another man, if you want your daughter to marry or something like that,
What
he
if their
will know.
parent
You going
wasn't?
back to the Stone Age? Them days.
What if your parent wasn't alive?
No,
Like, for
this is how
example,
it
like
is.
if I
This is
don't have
how
a
it is.
dad for you to go talk to, like, what are you gonna do?
You have uncle, you have brother.
Right, but that's assuming. Like, what if my dad was a didn't have any siblings?
It isn't. It isn't. Oh, any man, all right, is
I
closer
know,
to
but that
you.
puts that woman in a more vulnerable position.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But if you have a brother, is a man in it.
There's a lot of people around here. I'm just saying.
If you not have any father or if you not have men in your family, just to see any
And I do.
nice man in the neighborhood, you know him well, and he come and talk to that man. Can you please talk to him, see if he's good for me or not? Because woman will go in with the emotions, and she like to listen what she like to hear.
I like that approach traditionally. I think that a man should always ask, approach the parent, guardian, father,
The size of the family has shrunk. We got some feedback.
I feel like it is a gender war, but it's a gender war because we don't really understand our role as relationship wise. I mean, I feel like that being under colonized authorities distorts our deception on how we view ones. Like, you can be in a relationship with someone and everything is going fine, but the moment you find out that that person has spent time with someone else, you feel like you've been violated, or they disrespected you in some sort of way, or they didn't tell you this or they didn't tell you that. That would be almost like a somewhat of a slave mentality. Like, when you're in a relationship, it's almost like you feel like you totally own this person, and they can't have any free time or quality time, or you can't share any uplifting time with anyone else, and if you do, you violated me in some sort of way. And that's not really the way Jesus played things. He never talked about being married, not to go biblical with things, but I feel like we've been taught to perceive things certain ways. And if anything distorts the way we've been perceived to believe, or goes against how we've been taught things, it's automatically a disruptance, or that's when the drama comes and all the other things come. We can't just respect one another as the time that we spend with you. And if that vibe is really what it is, that we don't want to share that with anyone else, the vibe in itself would make that be of such. Not you forcing me, or I'm forcing you, or the situation is this, I helped you do this, or you understand what I'm saying? If you look at it on a different way of how we've been taught and perceive what things should be to be. And that's my idea that's my thought on the gender war.
That's some good insight.
Hear from Brian at the bottom down there.
Mr. Byron,
Brian, yeah.
Hello, how's everybody doing?
Hey, young man.
All right. I kind of feel that this gender war is an effort to destroy the family. I don't know anything else but American culture. I've been to other countries, but not long enough to understand and know their cultures. And I think it's just important that if we have healthy respect for ourselves and we be respectful to others, stay in our own lane. If you want to be married, be married. If you don't, don't. But we are humans, and I think every man should have a wife and every woman should have a husband, if that's what they want. And just respect it and keep it moving, if that makes sense.
I love that point of view. Everything you just said, perfect.
We can't hear you, Miss Lane. We couldn't hear you.
I totally agree. Everything he just said. just that kind of idea of having a marriage mindset, like what Godson had said previously. I think a lot of that kind of like pushback or whatever's going on in a particular relationship situation where you're kind of dealing with these battles seems to be, also a result of then we take these things into consideration and why maybe she's not trusting you to go out and do your thing or vice versa. And a lot of that is just because of this built up, resentment people have or preconceived notions. And it's like having those honest conversations, sitting down and saying, okay, well, what makes you uncomfortable? Or how can I, you should be able to have guy friends and girlfriends and go out and do your thing because you understand that at the end of the day, you have a mutual love and respect for one another. And it's like, I think that's what we're working on and haven't figured out yet as a culture and a society. People are stuck with, it's not the problem between a woman and a man, it's the problem between people's morals. Like people are just not getting loyalty and respect and all of that, and then understanding that people come with baggage and like a history and how to unpack that. And yeah, we live in a day and age where there's more media, there's more this, there's more that. Like people have been going through shit. I don't know. I feel like the gender wars idea is kind of obsolete. It's like we just need to work together. I agree with him. And yeah, I don't know. I can be divisive, but I just feel like we're equal and we have our own specific attributes that make us good in one way
No,
better
we're
than
not
another.
equal. We're not equal. There's male and there's women. There's men and there's women. I'm not gonna go outside
You don't think men and women are
protect
equal?
the man from, and he's probably not gonna let you do that. So no, we're not equal. The men are stronger than us. There's a reason why they're stronger than us.
Right, but we can give
But
birth. Like that's why I said there's
yeah, we
different.
can give birth, but there's a reason why they're physically stronger than us. We're mentally stronger than them, but they're physically stronger than us. So there is a difference. We're not equal. But however, we ought to have respect for one another. And that's the only way things are gonna
But as a woman,
change is with
so
respect
if we're not equal, who has the higher percentage out of 100%? What is the percentage male has over women, like overall, just in general? Since we don't talk about categories, because you're saying strength, but I think we have a higher emotional strength. I think we have a higher ability to, carry babies and do different things.
I believe it. I believe it would be
I just thought you were at
50-50.
least 50% of the equation, not less. Because I teach math. I also teach math. It's another class I love. I love statistics. I love diving into all that stuff. And like men commit like 80 to 90% of rapes and murders.
You said you
But
teach.
how are we not equal?
You said
We are
you said
superior
you
in a lot of
teach.
ways.
You said you teach math. Can I
I teach 8th grade.
can I ask you can I ask you a math question? Hello?
Or not. Yes, I can hear you. My bad.
I don't believe men and women are equal. I believe that's another thing, a myth that they put in our head to make us not perceive things as what they are. And the math question would be, what is 2 times 1?
2 times 1, 2.
All right.
But
Now,
I mean, one
2
squared.
times.
1 squared is 1.
No. We just gonna keep it at the basic. We talking about men and women being equal, and 1 times 1 you said would be 2. What would be the definition of multiplication?
The definition of multiplication is repeated addition.
Okay, and to simplify, that would mean multiplication with something that would have to increase.
Yeah.
It would have to get greater
repeated
than
addition.
once. Exactly. So if you're saying 2 times 1, and it would be back itself, And okay, so what would
The square root of 1 is 1. 1 to the
Okay,
power of 2 is 1.
okay,
2 times 1 is 2.
you
And
get
1
you.
times 2 is also 2.
I understand. You're getting ahead of me. You're getting ahead of the equations. What is 1 plus 1?
2. Or
And
window, if you want to draw it
and
out.
and 1 times 1 is also still 2. Hello?
She might have dipped out for a minute.
You said 1 times 1 would be 1.
I meant 2 times 1. I apologize.
2 times 1 is 2.
And 1 plus 1, it still would be what?
2.
So if multiplication is a bigger form than addition, how can 2?
Okay, how can 1 plus 1 be 2 and 2 times 1 also be 2 at the same time?
Yes.
Because multiplication and addition, you're dealing with 1. So you haven't reached a multiple yet because 1 is a singular thing. So once you reach a multiple, then it changes. So for example, 5 plus 5 is 10, but 5 times 5 is 25 because I have 5 5s.
But do you
And the square root of 25 would be 5.
I get your point, but it's hard to convey that. You gotta
to the power of 5 would be 5 times
go in
5 times 5 times
plain
5, which would be 5 times 5, 25, 125, 600 and what?
Okay. Listen.
Exponential.
You're going too far with it. I'm going to simplify.
It's like second grade math. I need to.
Okay, I understand, but I want to keep it on a base level because we all that's a medium we all can agree at is a base level. All I'm saying is if all your life you've been taught something is this way, there is no way that you can just in a conversation think differently than how you've been structured to think. Even if you think in your mind, it does not really add up the way that it's supposed to add up because 2 times 1 equals 2.
Okay, so listen.
Hold fast. Let me
1
land.
is 2.
Hold fast. Just let me land for 1 second.
You'll
get where I'm.
Be quiet a minute and let the man get it across. Be quiet for a second. We're not taking a math class. He's trying to explain something to you. Just be quiet.
Right. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. So, in definition of the words themselves, just defining themselves of what they mean. Multiplication would mean something has to increase significantly.
No.
Listen to me. Let's just hear me
Fractions.
out.
Multiply fractions, it decreases.
Fractions would be taking something away from something.
No, you multiply it by a decimal then.
I understand what you're saying, but we're just speaking, just adding and multiplying. 1 plus 1 adds up to 2. 2 times 1 adds up to 2. That would be bringing the multiplication back to itself. Now if you bring it back to itself, it being 2, how would that be increasing? If you add something,
we lost him. You can go ahead, Miss Lane, and tell you. Oh, he back.
Not what you're saying. Hey, go back. Explain this math, please.
We lost him for a minute. Go ahead, godson.
We got to start over because I'm trying to get it. I really am.
All right.
I don't mean to be rude on here.
I understand. I'm just saying, take in consideration of what I'm saying and don't put it in the way that we were taught in the way that we. Okay, 1 plus 1 adds up to 2.
Yes.
1 times, 2. I apologize.
2 and 1 times 2. Yeah.
No. 2 times 1 equals what?
2.
So, in definition of multiplication and addition, multiplying goes up, and addition
is addition.
Exactly.
1 and 1. It's
exactly.
2. Multiplication is addition and division is subtraction. That's all it is.
But
if you add multiple,
man, can I
Can we just get the question out? Get what we trying to figure out there.
Can I respectfully interrupt for
go
1
ahead,
second?
Go ahead, Chi-Town. Let Chi-Town speak.
This is not that complicated.
Not at all.
No.
But I'm not
Please.
understanding what the problem is.
Double minus
I'm
double
wrong.
G, double minus double G, apostrophe 93345 ain't finna walk me down the aisle.
You
Minus
guys went from trying to speak on what makes men and women equal to what makes them not equal. And the young man was trying to give his scenario, but he was having a difficult time trying to convey that message. So, Shot Town, if you want to take a stab at it, and then Miss Lane, you speak, and then we'll give it to Brian and Miss Christina and Godson. Let's give it a shot.
this the shot. When you courting a woman, just get to the nitty gritty. All that what's your color, what's your sign, all that lame ain't gonna feed y'all. Ain't gonna make you happy with this woman. You gotta know what make her irritated. When the last time she got pissed off and why? When the last time he got pissed off and why? What was your reaction when you got pissed off? When the last time you had an STD conversation with your last partner, or do you have it? Or how recently do you have that? How fast do you have that conversation when you getting to know these people? That's what it's about. All this other is irrelevant. We don't get to them points.
I agree.
We don't know people how we supposed to know people. We talking about how many brothers and sisters you have. Why?
That sounds like A squared plus B squared.
You don't even know this person. You don't know if they good with money. Why are you talking about marriage when you don't even know the person good to handle $100 for a day? Can't even flip $100 for a day. Haven't had a steady job in 2 years. Or if they don't have a steady job, are they an entrepreneur? Are they trying to get some type of funds for themselves? Like, these the questions need to be asked. And if they're not asked towards you, and you want to ask these questions, and they're not asked towards you, then you should have a problem with that, because you know what type of character person you are. So why ain't they being asked towards you? So you shouldn't be thinking like, oh man, I'm asking this person these questions. Why ain't they shooting these questions back towards me?
Mm-hmm.
Is there a character flaw in this person? Do they have any attention towards
That's the inequality. That's an unequal equation.
So all that other stuff is irrelevant. These day and ages right here, you either gonna be a reactive person or a defensive person.
But just like we were trying to say, can I respond to you? Because I know I'm my bad. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm good.
I would just make it clear. But so today we're doing oh my god, this is perfect. So today in my class we're doing lines. So you have linear equations. You write, let's say y equals mx plus b. You have different forms of the equation, and you gotta put the lines on a graph, right? They have to determine if it has no solution, infinite many solutions, or one solution. So it either has a solution, no solution, or infinite solutions, right? Infinite solutions means that every point on the line will work in the equation. It's just the same line. No solutions if the lines never touch. And if they ever touch, because they have a different slope and they're going in different directions, they'll eventually intersect and then move on. And I'm thinking relationship-wise, it's actually kind of interesting because there is kind of an intersect there where people can be on the same path and continue to live and not intersect, have this moment of connection, and one goes exponentially up and the other goes to the right, at a different gradient.
They want to
inequalities. There's all these factors that are involved in this situation. You don't know what's going on, and like what you said, like okay,
it's not that. This is what
scenario doesn't.
This is what I'm saying.
But in the larger
how you
equation,
talking right there? I would have left you at the table.
No, but what you just said, you made so much sense.
Not right, but how you speaking
when
about
you're looking at
it's
one,
not
it
complicated. Think about this.
If I'm sitting in front of you, the inequality exists.
No, I'm sitting. No, man. If I'm sitting in front of you, are you talking like that?
Yes, absolutely.
If we on our first date, if we on our first
back
date,
and forth,
are you speaking like that?
100%.
So we gotta do
you and we would be getting into it. It would be a fun first date.
No, that won't. No, that won't.
Not.
I will tell you, I gotta go use the bathroom, and you will. The last time you will see.
We're gonna have to do a reset, you guys.
Call me back.
We're gonna do a reset.
Don't mute me.
We're gonna do a reset. We're gonna just do a reset of the room and try to see if we can have a balanced conversation. We don't have to go back and forth. What you guys could do is try to respect each other's position, and then let's have the conversation, because for the listener and the viewers, it'll be a little difficult for them if we yelling over the mic. So we're gonna give it to Miss Lane as the woman, and then you speak, and then let's let Chi-Town speak. But let's try to speak in plain
No,
English.
I'm done. I'm done. I talked too fucking much already.
No,
My apologies.
you okay. Just try to stay out of the math class and just bring it to plain English for the viewers and the people that's listening, because you guys went on like a personal journey right there. So we can just get back to it. Go ahead.
I've been to the Chi-Town. I don't mind it. It's not a bad place. But
Do you remember your
no, I don't really have anything to say.
your initial question, or you got away from it?
No, I have ADHD. I forget everything I've
Well,
tried to say.
what
But
you was
at the
asking,
same time,
Christina was speaking on
it's
how
not
men and
inequality.
women not equal, and you was trying to ask why they not
Yeah.
equal, and then Godson went to math class, and then
Asked me
Chi-Town
a
tried
math
to come through.
question, and I proved that math question didn't make sense, and that actually math does make sense, and it's the only language that will make sense for you, everybody in the world. But because it is the universal language, in my opinion. But at the same time, yeah, there's inequalities, just like in math. There are lines that do not intersect, and that's called a no
Baby,
solution.
let me tell you something. I'm a nurse. I don't know nothing about math. You're gonna lose me every time. Just speak in plain English.
I'm saying, okay, when you make an equation, it makes a line. So there sometimes are lines that have no solution because there is something called the inequality. Like 5 plus 3 does not equal 6. So, or 5 plus 3 doesn't equal 6. So you write 5 plus 3 and then 6 equals 6. And then the kid in class will draw a line through the equal sign. And that's called an inequality. And they exist as examples, but they're real life. Inequalities do exist. Like women make this much money and do this equals men doing this, like okay. Well, that might be an inequality. It might be an equality, but you saying it's an inequality and women are less equal than men. That's fine. I disagree. I think it's an equal sign, but I also think that women are low key better. But I'm not even gonna go there. You know.
All right, I'm new here. Hello, my name is Misty. What is gender wars?
Women are the best.
Oh, you're talking like male, female?
Yeah, we asking why are we in a world where men and women can't coexist the way we used to, just in general, and that's what is considered gender wars. What's your take on why is it so difficult for men and women to coexist now, as opposed to 60 years ago when we was more family orientated?
I would say because they haven't figured out a way to acclimate with each other, with the times and the changes. With, for example, women coming into entrepreneurship and working and being supportive and independent at that, you know, without a man. And that has to be a challenge with a man too,
right?
because a man is used to like.
Go ahead. We lost you.
Back in the days of old, being the breadwinner. Like he's the one that, but you know. Sorry.
No, we had lost you.
I thought you were.
No, we listening to you.
No, I think
Keep going out. What's happening?
A man is challenging today because.
Oh, you're in the matrix. You're in the matrix. You might be
down?
traveling or driving or something. Your mic on.
Okay, wait. Let me go out and come back.
Okay. Your mic keep going in and out. Hey, yeah, we see you. Go ahead.
Hey,
we
can
hear
you hear
perfectly
me?
Fine.
Okay, so when I was going to the man side, I was like, it's difficult for men nowadays because back in the days of old, they were the breadwinners. But it's different now. So I think that poses a huge problem with relationships because both sexes are trying to figure out like who's the male, who's the alpha, who's, you know, like what role do you serve, and what if you're both making money like in your jobs?
So
can afford it now. Yeah, to be a breadwinner.
I'm sorry, I'll be quiet.
No, come on, you fine.
I was just saying a lot of men now too, like could have been like back then it was easier to like afford it, you know?
Yeah.
Also, women
Yeah.
couldn't, have bank accounts and things like that. But
Based on what Miss Misty K said, based on what you said, what do you think that means?
You're talking to me?
Miss Misty.
Oh, me. Wait.
I
Repeat. I'm
lost you.
sorry.
I was asking you based on what you just said, what do you think that means?
I think it means like an apocalypse of gender roles.
Because
The days of old, like the 1950s and like 60s, where all the women stayed at home and stuff. It's not that relevant today because we're so like ridiculously capable of not only holding high paying jobs, but we're also capable of independence.
So the women changed, huh?
No, I don't think. No, I think it's society changed.
I think a
What the
lot of
men
that in the
changed?
1950s.
Yeah, not necessarily women, but just
hold
the
on.
way women's roles are in the planet now. I think that changed.
Right. So where you think the men changed that?
They got more pansy.
Well, I mean, as far as like a reality change, you just said in the '60s we was the breadwinners and certain things, and now you saying the women.
No, men. That was men in the 60s. Men were the
No,
breadwinners.
you know what?
Yeah.
I think I would have to agree with her on that. You're right. The roles have changed, and that changes the dynamic of things, and that would put us in a gender war. You have men playing roles women play. You have women playing roles men play.
Well, I mean,
This is a good conversation. See, this is why it's good
you're
to have
absolutely right,
It's
because
major and right because of the auto
we
industry.
have really smart women, and you can go beyond that. Like, we have women in Congress, we have women that have been vice presidents. I mean, women are just really stepping up these days, which
So
I
women
don't
being
feel forbid because it's.
liberated got us at war. Is that what you're saying?
Are you saying the pussy got you at war?
Ooh, I like.
My grandmother was a very
I like
active
that.
Oh, I like her.
Hold on.
woman.
I'm trying to bring her up. Hold on, let me see. Go ahead.
I'm fist bumping you.
Misty. No,
You
come on,
right.
Misty. You want to?
I like
He's
this.
right.
Come on, Misty.
Appreciate the cam up.
What's going on? What's
Bring
going
that young
on,
lady
brother?
up
Okay,
too in that
let's
space
go
right
back
there.
into history, like
Go ahead.
Cleopatra. Like,
Let's go back.
every woman that has ever been in leadership, even way back, like over 2,000 years ago, the war was caused by a man. It's true.
What do you mean by that?
She's
I
right.
mean, get more in
Well,
depth with that because
it was either
you
caused
got
by
Queen She you
no.
got
Well,
Queen Sheba. That was
The
I'm a
Cushites,
queen.
the
I'm a
Cushite
queen.
women, but they
But
were
it either
defending
happened
against men.
over leadership or testicleship. Why did men have to build such huge tombs when they died? Because they wanted to make their
wait. Hold
bigger.
hold fast. Are we speaking factual? Or are we speaking what we were taught to believe had happened?
Actually, probably all of the above: factual, historical,
Okay,
and
I can go with that.
figuratively.
I can go with that.
Yeah.
I
I'm
mean, I
sorry.
want you to know
Don't hate me. Don't
women
hate
have been
me.
just as dynamic in the world as men have, but it's just the colonizers perceive men to be more victorious than women, and that's where
And
the
who
war,
stood
the
behind
struggle
that
came with
man?
women.
A woman.
I mean,
So if the colonizers see
that
the men as more victorious,
that would
you're
be the
admitting
balance,
that that
though.
is an
That would be the
agenda
balance,
of
though.
the colonizers
But you also got to know
to
women rule just like men ruled as well.
Sure.
right.
I
So are we
agree.
equal? Can you tell me we're equal? Because you said earlier we were not.
I said we were not because I'm
You
not
just said we were
gonna.
not.
Not equal.
No, we're
No,
not.
no. No,
No, but I do
technically,
think
no,
that
no,
we
no,
Hold on,
have
no.
hold
a
on. Let's
He
one
just said
mic
we
at a
were
wonderful.
time. We
like
want to
this.
hear everybody. Go
I
ahead.
feel like we have a wonderful kind of equal history with leadership in the past and the present, with males and females, with
Yeah.
Pharisees and presidents or vice presidents. You know, it's kind of cool.
I think Misty can
Hold
agree
on.
that women and men are equal. You
Well,
agree
We
men
can't
with
hear
men and
you.
women are equal?
Too much
well,
noise.
you'd have to go back to,
No,
okay, I don't know
no,
if you're a
no, no,
Christian or
no.
not.
Basically,
No,
no, no.
today, are we equal? Should we be equal? Should we be equal?
Partner.
Like viewed as
I would say
equals.
partners. Yeah.
No.
I would say
Yeah.
we're partners.
Partner means 50-50, 100%.
Yeah.
50%, 50%
Okay. Okay.
equal. Boom.
Well,
Thank
yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, we can play.
Let me
Yes, we
add
can
you,
play
Lane.
equal
Let me add
roles,
you. I like what you have
but
to say.
physically, we're not equal. We can play equal roles.
We
Yes,
No,
can't
a
we're
even
not
play
man
equal
can be
equal.
roles.
president.
We
A,
can't play
a
equal
woman can be
roles.
I do a
president.
better job
We
putting
are
a
not
tampon on
equal.
my vagina than
Hold
you
on.
would
Not
do putting it
physically.
on the vagina.
We
No, this
not
don't have.
equal.
Not
Why do you
physically,
think
no,
So
the
we're
that's
whole
not.
an
like? Why do you think the
inequality.
whole
There's another one.
ordeal, like with men and women's sports and all
You
that?
could
Hold on.
probably
Hold
call it
on. Wait a
It's
minute.
basketball.
not. We're not
You probably
equal.
can't. That's fine. I know.
Wait.
Exactly.
Go ahead. Go ahead. We lost you. Muted. You muted. You muted, godson.
This is what I'm not understanding. People are acting like equality has to do with, like, the thing is that I don't understand. If you're looking at an equation, I'll go at it again. If you have 2x plus 3 equals
No, no. Let's
whatever
not go
x,
back there.
right?
Let's not go back
The
there.
x, no. I'm not even going to go into the math. The one thing, the factor, I'll use
Let
it
me
as
explain
factor.
it to you.
The x is called a factor, right? So let's say that factor is this person is dealing with this personal thing. Then there's the 2x. So then they're dealing with double times of this other thing, right? And then they have another thing attached to that. All of those things, when you're looking at two things, you can have something that has different quantities, different coefficients, different variables, different factors, and that is equal to the other thing on the other side. They're not going to be the same. So, like, to say, like, black people and white people are equal. Yeah, sure. Does that mean, well, you're going to sit here and say, well, no, we're not equal in terms of the pigmentation in our skin? Okay, oh yeah, of course. There is a different level of melanin. Or if you're going to say that this person is equal to this person because they both have the same bachelor's degree, well, this person has a size 15 foot and this person has a size 9. And if they had a foot war, this person's going to have a better leverage on their foot. Like, if that was what we were worried about, was the specific factor. But we're looking at a global, larger perspective of all of these factors combined equaling the others. So, like, yeah, women do a lot of things. We can maybe be better nurturers or maybe be better at this or this or that. And that's great. And men can do better in these things. And if we can come to common grounds and love
I'm
one
gonna
another,
explain
and
to you why. I'm
get
gonna
with
try to
the
give you a basic
inequality stuff.
definition after we let Godson speak, because I can just debunk this in 2 seconds. But we're gonna let Godson speak, and we're
I'm
gonna
like,
get him.
I'm just saying, people could be certain percents and still equal the same
I'm
other percents on the other
okay.
side. And it could
We're
be
gonna
different
let
factors.
Godson speak to it, and then I will speak after him. But go ahead, Godson.
I feel like on just that aspect where you were speaking about equal as far as blacks and whites, it just in that aspect. Now we do know technically we are physically equal. We do breathe the same. We do bleed the same. But if one was to get pulled over for
That's my point.
speeding,
That's my
you know
point.
what I mean?
Exactly my point.
Let him. You spoke. Let
We
him
are
speak.
supposed to be equal, but somebody's viewing it different.
I'll be back.
That's my whole point. It's like this.
I'm gonna help you out with that piece. We lost somebody, but we'll get him back. Go ahead, Godson.
You know what I'm saying? Just the behavior of the situation would be different just because of the tone of the complexion of the situation. It's not right, it's not fair, but it's not an equal way of situations being handled. So just in that fact alone, you can see that where there is a fact that we are not equal, they're equally, you can't just say that. So men and
Yeah,
women aren't the
but you're
same,
saying that's based
situations
on
aren't the
what?
same.
What makes what? Why do you think? Do you think in your heart of hearts that black and white people at least should be equal. If not, black people are better than white
Can't
people,
get
in
you
your
up.
opinion.
I'm trying to.
Just not even speaking
Okay.
about anyone being better or lesser. Just the way society
That's
has the
not what I'm saying.
situation
That's my
itself.
point. Is that that's the same way society does women.
So we're not talking reality. We're just talking just like
Their sexism
if
and
that's the
racism
fact,
both
yeah.
exist
What
for a
you're
reason.
saying, oh, it's for a reason. Oh, okay, yeah, I understand.
They exist.
I
Yes,
see.
they both exist because of exactly what you're saying. Is because people have a bias. So if you were to judge a
No,
woman over a man because she's a woman, because of one difference between her and a man who both have the same, let's say, bachelor's degree, a black man
no,
and
no,
a
no,
white
no, no,
man
no,
who
no,
have the
no, no.
same
See, no,
degree,
no, no, no,
and you
no,
were
no,
judging
no,
them,
no,
you
no,
would, or
no.
pulling them
Listen,
over, you
no,
would
no, no,
judge
no,
them
no.
differently
No, no,
based
no, no,
off
no.
of
Listen,
gender or
no, no,
Hold
no.
on,
race.
Listen to
we
what.
can't hear you. If everybody
Listen
talk
to.
over each other,
Listen.
we can't hear. We gotta try to go one at a time for the listeners.
Not understanding.
So
But
Whatever.
listen to what you're saying. The bias comes in the one that's being biased. You just said that yourself. If a man is this or if a man is that, but you're holding them at the standards of where the bias lies at, or where the discrimination lies at, or where the division lies at. Yes, we can both hold those both titles. A man can be a king, a woman can be a queen, and a woman can hold and
Yeah.
rule just as well, but they are not equal. That's the fact that I'm saying. They're not equal. They're not the same. They do both different identities, but they both can still hold titles of such powers, is what I'm saying. Just like there's no difference between black and white, but it seems to be whitey has more
Wait,
power, and
We
that,
wait.
don't
I
want to.
you
We,
wanna.
we
know,
want
Can
to
I?
stay
just the
Can
away
way
I
from.
that it
chime
is.
in?
We
Can
have to
I
stay
chime
away
in
from
real
that piece.
quick?
We don't want to get our page
Because
flagged.
we were talking about like
Okay, right.
male and
Okay, exactly,
female
exactly.
like
That
gender
part.
wars. We were talking about that,
Yeah.
and then somehow it came into like about race,
Yeah.
and I
No,
don't
we
think
not. Yeah,
that's
we're not going
what
there.
the.
Right. We're not going there. We're not. We're
Yeah,
not.
I didn't think that's what this was supposed to
Let's
be.
let Sarge speak.
No,
Sarge, you want to speak to the topic?
exactly.
Hey, how is everybody doing tonight?
Hey, young fella, how you doing? It's good to see you, man.
You too, my man. I have to say that we are different,
We got some
and I
noise.
think the
You got to
major
try to
part
mute the
of
mics and some noise right there. If you guys
I'm
can hear me,
meeting,
is it
just
me?
meeting,
tell two
meeting.
persons. Okay, go ahead, Sarge.
Okay, I was saying that we are
All right, very
different.
different, but equal.
We are different, and I think the main
Different, but
problem is that we've forgotten our roles as a man and a woman. That's what the main issue I think is no man I think really wants to see a woman not prosper and be successful. We want to see women successful, but the problem is there's a lot of women, not all, but a lot of women when they get that success, they tend to look down on the man because they're successful and the man's not. So when it comes down to like the equality, I think, yeah, the equality comes from each other. Like I know me and my girl, she knows her role in our relationship and I know mine. And she gets the equality from me because I treat her as an equal, even though I know my role is I pay the bills, I work, I make sure everything is taken care of. And she knows her role where she takes care of my son. She she takes care of the house. We have our roles. And it's okay if the woman and man roles switch because it depends on the household. If the woman is making more money and it's more economically smart for the male to stay home and do the other side, I don't think that's a problem with that, but that would be with communication.
All right, Byron has something to say. He wants to chime in. He put that in the comments. Go ahead, Byron.
Thank you. I think the lines have been blurred. I think we are all equal. We are all equal, all of us. But we have a social contract that we've been confused about, and it's been a whole lot of shenanigans to distract us. Whether the woman make more and the man make less, it doesn't make him less of a man. Men have our attributes, women have their attributes, but we're all equal. But when we start disrespecting the social contract that most of us have grown up with, that's where the confusion and the gender wars come in. If Oprah was my wife and we know she clocking billions and I'm only clocking 80, I'm still the husband, I'm still the man, I'm still the head. It doesn't make her lesser than me, but that's the social contract that we grew up and we live in and we most know to be normal. And when that line is blurred, that's where you have the confusion because people don't respect their self or the social contract that most of us agree to live by. That's just my point. Thank you.
Well, we lost. Who we lost? Hey, Miss Queen C, how you doing? Inspiring up there. How you doing? You can speak to the topic if you like to.
Come on, Rick. I mean, I think OG, Mr. Byron, man, he said it quite. He laid the game down flat, man. Like I agree. I think this is a problem. The major problem is that we reduced each other to some monetary numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like men's value is far beyond money, and women's value is far beyond pussy. I mean, oh, sorry, I don't know if I can say that, but
No, you can't say that. You can't say that.
all right. Well, far beyond the sugar walls, or you know, I mean, whatever you want to say.
We get you. We get you.
Booty cat.
There we go. There we go. But I think this is what we're really kind of suffering from the fact that we created such
You should say beauty rather than
transactional
anything else.
system. Life's just too transactional, man. We need to get back into having roles, and we need to get back into loving on each other, and then understanding that each other come with different strengths and different weaknesses, so that we can be a better team. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, I know I'm kind of getting long-winded, but I'll say like Michael Jordan. A lot of people say Michael Jordan's the GOAT, right? And it's because he got the MVPs, he got the defensive players of the year, and all that stuff. If he didn't have a team around him, he wouldn't be able to do a lot of that stuff. Michael Jordan is not a great one-on-one defender. He was a great floater. That's how he got defensive player of the year. If he don't got Scottie Pippen, he can't float around. He got to play more one-on-one defense, and that throws his game all off. So we got to find ways to be in an effective team together like we used to be versus, you know what I mean, playing this ISO BS game that we're playing right now that ain't amounting to nothing but a lot of wins but no championships. And I'm going to land my plane with that.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I agree. That make a lot of sense.
Can I say one thing? I'm sorry, God. Go ahead, sir.
No, I was totally agreeing with Buddy. I agree. That's what it is. The gender war is really like feminine and masculine at war with one another, and we can't just let nature play its course because society has us thinking if you're masculine, you got to have certain attributes. If you're feminine, you got to have these attributes, and you just not just letting the vibration be the vibration. The vibration comes with stipulations and expectations, and you know, if you don't have this, we can't even align, and that's what alignment.
Unrealistic and unnecessary.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Essential. Like, you gotta have them.
I mean, that's when you say unrealistic, meaning like every woman wants a woman now.
666, yeah, the 6 figures, 6 inches,
Everyone,
at least 6 feet.
Exactly. Every woman wants a man to be this and have all these high expectations, but then she some women, not all, she may call herself I'm that B. You know what I'm saying? You want me to treat you like a queen, but you addressing yourself as a B. You understand what I'm saying? And then even men, I want a queen, but then I'm looking at the women that got all of their goodies out, but I'm saying I want a queen. So it's the way we perceive things, and we don't even understand the fact of how to dialogue something, like, because there's always warnings right there in front of you. Like if a woman acts or treats her child a certain type of way, and now you'll still deal with that because she may please you in a way that's satisfying, so you'll overlook those things. But those are the warnings right there. And the same thing with a woman. She'll go on with a man because he can provide her with certain things, but she know he's not going to give her that comfort, but he can financially comfort her. But realistically, what she really wants, you know what I'm saying? So we compromise our integrity for immoral things, and then we get upset when we get the results that we already have been given the signs for. You understand what I'm saying? And that's why I think that the problem in the culture, I mean not the culture, the gender wars are at. It's really society. It's and the high expectations we have on each other, and the low expectations we give our own views. I mean, not our own views, our low expectations on how we compromise our values for our comforts or satisfaction.
And I think he was
Satisfying.
right, bro. Like it does. The culture has shifted. It's not just the level; it's the culture too. You was
Hey,
right.
can I add on to Godson? Can I add one thing to you, Godson? I think a lot of the
Yeah, I'm
issue
go ahead, bro.
when I was younger, I'm a Gen Xer, y'all. When I was younger, I think the ladies, we always had our little boppers, and we had our women. And back then, women found a way to separate themselves from that. They weren't a part of that group. And these days, it's really hard for men to decipher who are the ladies and who are the boppers, if you understand what I'm saying.
Well, your ladies are in the house. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
And that you're right. And yeah,
Yeah,
and that's true too. And most of the
because I'm
women
home.
and the men are usually, the men are at work, going to work, coming home, and the women are at home doing their thing and taking care of their business. But the only thing that we see is the bad side on both sides. We see
Because
the
we
bopper on
don't
the
like them
women's
either,
side. Go ahead.
baby. We don't like them either. So we hide
Right,
from them in the house. We don't.
right. But it's hard for some men to decipher and see which ones aren't and which ones are. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that could be people are looking in the wrong spot too.
So how do you want us to fix that? Like, what would you expect women that are in the house and don't want to even mix themselves with that type of behavior? What do you expect us to do? You want us to come out? Or how would you know that we are different from the ones that are out there? How would you be able to visually tell if we're different from the others? And would you approach us?
I think you would
Okay.
the visual will come behind. The visual come how you present yourself. Actually, it's funny
Yes.
you should say this. I had this same conversation with somebody. It A woman can go out with her man. A woman can go out with her man and have something on provocative. And the guy was like, no, I don't want my woman to go out like that. But I say, if a woman goes out like that and you are for her, I mean, she's for you and you are for her, or whatever it is, her whole attention would be on you and not on the attention that she's bringing because of what she has on. Now, a woman that has something like that on and she's wanting the attention of others, you'll see her whole mannerism and her behavior. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's not paying attention to who's looking at her because that's not what she wants. But someone that does want that and has that on because of that, that will be their whole objective. So sometimes we have to pay attention to the mannerism of the one that we're with, and not just be happy that we're with someone that that we want to be with. You understand what I'm saying? Because those actions alone would tell you who you have. And the same thing goes with a man. If a man is with a woman and he's wandering eyed and whatever, then that would let her know, okay, well, maybe you're not as into me as I thought you were. But we compromise our integrity because we know, I say integrity, because we know we see it in those little things, but we overlook it. And then that's when we get the repercussions. And I'm gonna land it
I
right
just
there.
want to say this before I go, if I can.
Come on with it.
Okay, thank y'all for having me on the panel. But I think it's very important to answer Sister Christina. I think it's very important that women and men should carry themselves classy, not sassy. And it's the difference, like the brother was explaining. You could be dressed provocative, but yet classy in the way you carry yourself and the way you move. And that separates you from them. But a lot of sisters, it seems like they prefer, and I don't mean this disrespectful, it seems like they want to be sassy instead of classy, if that makes sense. You all have a wonderful night, and thank you for having me up.
Thank you so much for coming through. We'll be back
Have a
tomorrow.
great night, sir.
Stay
Appreciate
right
you.
on
Roger that.
Hey, Christina, and from the way you speak and the way you carry yourself, I already know that you aren't one of those type of women. What I'm saying is it makes it really hard when I have a full screen of all of that, and you know what I'm saying. You not necessarily, you can kind of blend in
Yeah.
until I actually talk to you and have a conversation with you, and then I can realize, oh, wait a minute, she on a whole different level. She ain't like that one over there. She actually got her head on her shoulders. That's when that would happen. But a lot of men are opting out now before that even happens because, so many times they run into the wrong one.
I feel like running into the wrong one sometimes isn't a bad thing. It's a teachable moment. And I can say that I've had a bad experience too, but I didn't take it as a way to say that, oh man, all men are bad now. No, I took it as a teachable moment and it taught me what not to do and what to do and how to improve myself. I learned. So now, you know, when I get there, there's things I'm going to do different, going to do better. Because there were some things that I probably could have done better. I'll take accountability for certain things. Um, but I just think that people take one bad experience and just make it for the rest of their life. They just live on it. And I don't think it's fair because I don't fall in that category and I made sure I didn't fall in that category. And it's actually hard to date. So I'm going to stay home because I don't like to be in the mix.
I think that's where that term bag lady
That's what the
came
problem
from.
is because see, you as a good woman, you're staying in the house, and the only thing that these
I can't hear.
Oh, I'm saying that's what I said was is with you making a decision like you don't want to deal with that, which I respect because you're tired of the mess. But the only ones that are out to see are the ones that are really doing it, and unfortunately, those are the ones that everybody polarizes and that we categorize as this is the modern woman, right? Which in turn, there's that is not the case. There are true good women that have great values and want the things that good men want, but we get drowned out by so many boppers. It's hard to keep up.
A lot of, I would say, holding people like coming up on panels and stuff, holding people accountable, being the person who is giving their authentic good experience definitely plays a major role in making you look. I mean, making you the lifestyle that you want. You know what I mean? Is it an echo on mine, or is that just me? I think it's all right. But I would say that you know what I mean, being your authentic self. A lot of those chicks, they usually, when they hold people accountable, they always get called that. What do they say? They call them. You guys know what I'm saying. What's the word? Yeah, pick me. But the thing is what's wrong with being a pick me? If you want to be picked by a man, if you want to be with a man, you want to pick him and you want him to pick you. So like, don't allow those negative things to deter you from being it. And then also, I think that you can't really look like how they look. Like, you know what I mean? You got to set yourself apart. You got to differentiate yourself. You know what I'm saying? You can't. Matter of fact, let's just say if they're lions, right? You can't look like a lion and then expect a man to just look down the street and be like, which one of y'all is going to bite me? Because now he can't make a decision, so he's going to move out of the way of everybody. So you got to be able to set yourself apart. You know what I'm saying? Be in the moment, and then actually actively make moves to show that you are that person that you saying you are. I think that's the biggest thing that kind of like separates yourself as far as visually, you know, from men and women. And I mean, from women that are about that life and women that are 304s. Like, you got to be able to set yourself apart.
I agree. I agree with that. It's just I just find it so exhausting. You know, I mean, I don't know. I go out to eat all the time by myself, and I just literally sit there and just, I'll be completely fine. But, I can look across the table and then see like a bunch of that kind sitting there, and then all the men will flock to that. And then they'll be complaining later, like, oh man, they done skipped out on me. We done paid for all this food and they didn't even give us our number. They gave me the wrong number. And I'm just sitting there like, oh, well, hey. So I can't say, that sometimes men don't set themselves up for that.
Absolutely.
But that's that short term gratification that, you know what I mean. You think with the wrong head kind of situation.
No, you can't say that either. That's the way society has plagued things to be. Society has made it think that if you do this, you do that, you get instant gratification. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make us think with our logical head. It makes us think with our, you know what I'm saying, illogical head.
Yeah.
That's the way society puts it out there. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
Microwave
even for women.
I believe women are that most beautiful thing on earth. I genuinely believe that. But you know what? Let me use my imagination. Let me use my imagination when I see you walk by.
That's
right. Yeah.
You know, I don't want to have to, close my eyes because I've seen everything already. Give me something to use my imagination. I wonder what that look like up under there. We don't have that too much no more because you got some that they don't wear nothing no more.
Mm-hmm. You ever see that movie R.I.P.D.? It had Heath Ledger in it, right? When he died, and he was like the cop, the ghost cop or whatever. All right, if you didn't, don't worry about it. I'll just the part of the movie I remember, it was like his partner was some dude that was like a cowboy in the 1800s, right? And the dude he was always talking about the chick's ankles. And when you said that, you made me think about it. Like, back in his day, he was talking about all them ankles. This is how I could tell a woman's, sexually attractive. You know what I'm saying? And that was like the edgy thing now. And then it just like how everything has gradually gotten to the point where now we got women who are wearing see-through dresses to their kids' graduations. Shout
And
out to
not
Tony
only
Fox.
that, like the woman ain't even what she says she is. She's wearing something to push her breast up. She's wearing something, a body shaper. So, hell, what I thought I seen wasn't even what I really seen.
Oh man, see, I think that's a totally different argument, and then you're
I'm
right.
sorry, I back off.
But no, you're 100% correct. You know what I mean? Like,
He's right
there's
though.
there's a lot
Like,
of
to me,
weird
that's like false advertising. That's like me going to a car lot and you show me a Benz and I'm driving the Benz, and once I sign all the damn paperwork and I get my keys, you gave me a Volkswagen.
Yeah, man, you right though.
Hey,
Fake
with
this,
all
fake
with
this,
all
fake
the
that.
different emeralds on it. You right about that.
You right,
Yeah.
bro. You right.
Like, and if you love yourself, you should show a man. Because I'm telling y'all, man, we real simple. Like, and all
Yep.
you got to do is get the blood to cut off to the top head and move to the south, and you gonna get what you want.
Hey, but you know something else is strange about that, and it's funny you should say that. All the women that are doing all these men and women that are doing all these things to alter their bodies, it's gonna come a time, and it's gonna come a time real soon that the defects that a woman has is gonna be more appreciated because it's gonna be more natural, because it's gonna become a point where you can't tell if it's real or if it's not. But if you see something that's seems unnatural, okay, that got to be real, because if it wasn't, she'd have got that fixed. And that's going to be attractive, because it's going to be a point where everything's going to be so altered and whatnot that you just not just going to want it. So the deformities is going to be attractive, but now the perfection, they're making it seem like the perfection is where it's at right now. And that's the way
I think
society
you're
views
doing well.
things. Because before, you could think about it before. If you had these things before, you were looked down on. Like if you had a big bus line and all that, you were looked at like, oh. But now that's looked at, oh wow, that's what's happening. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna switch to the point that like, nah, I want something that's real. I don't even know. So your natural instinct, if you see a deformity, okay, I know that's real. You know what I'm saying? But right now, fake is what's happening. Nobody
Yeah, but
wants to be who they
I don't
are.
think it's really a win though, because the fakeness is not really. They're not winning. They just getting like that short term gratification. They getting smashed and they getting past that after that. Like it's a smash and dash.
No, I understand what I'm saying. Right now, that is what it is. But I'm saying like when authenticity is what it is supposed to be, that's gonna be upheld instead of be shunned upon. You know what I'm saying? Deflects are shunned upon. You know what I'm saying? Those are beauty marks though. But right now, everybody want to change their imperfections. You know what I'm saying? If you're not
No,
this
I
side, you can
agree
get
what you're
that side.
saying, but I just think that it's a short term thing. Like those women that are getting things, yeah, I mean, they're getting to that perfection. They're not getting any long term situations. They're getting people who want to have sex with them, have fun with them. I mean, sex with them, but they're not getting anybody who's going to marry them. So I
Yeah.
agree. I think people like you, Christina, you gonna get the person that you deserve, that you need to have,
I feel
and
like
it's those people that you see. If you see people who are moving a little quicker, it's because they're searching for something that you don't need. And every dude ain't meant to be a husband, like every woman ain't meant to be a wife. Like that's it's certain people for that. You know what I'm saying? There's levels to this. And if a man ain't actively preparing himself to be a husband, he can't be a husband. He can't flick a switch and then all of a sudden be a husband. The same way a wife can't just flick a switch and be a wife. You can get the position, but sometimes people get them positions, they get that career, and then they're underqualified, and then they get fired because they just be like, what the fuck? I can't do nothing that I'm supposed to be doing. This is too much work. This is too much stress. Because you wasn't prepared to handle that. You know what I mean? What they say. God only put more on you than he only put on you what you can bear. But if you start trying to jump ahead of what God got planned for you, then you get crushed under the weight.
That's right. That's right. You're right. But I think I do need to get out of the house though. I do need to
Meet him
get out of
unless you
the
get
I
out the
do
house.
need to get out of the house. I
For
do.
sure. You can't find a
You
man in
can't
the
meet him
crib.
unless you go outside. You got to go outside now.
You
I
got to go
agree.
outside.
I 100% agree. Sorry, y'all. I got my thing on
But
FaceTime.
get
I
you know
didn't
what
mean to hit that.
I mean? Gym, all types of stuff. Just don't be trying to find a man in the club, man. That's it.
Right. And it
Oh
depends on where
no.
you go. You know, you get where you're at. Like if you wanted to be they always say if you want to be a millionaire, you keep yourself around a company of millionaires. You
Yeah,
know,
go to the
so
cigar lounge, man. One of them upper class cigar lounge. Find you a good man that's smoking a good cigar. You know.
We got plenty of
yeah.
them around here.
Yeah.
There are men out there that that have ran, that's been out there and they did their thing, but you know what? After a while, a man does get tired. Some of us do. Some of us don't get it, and that's true too. But there are men that after a while they figure it out and like, man, I don't want to be out here doing this no more. It's time for me to settle down. Build a foundation, a family. And that's what you're looking for. Those qualities of a man, not the qualities of a man that he's got the best fitted cap on all the time, or he always got the freshest Jordans on.
Mm-hmm.
That's real
Because that
talk
man
right
with the
there.
Jordans and that fresh outfit, that's all the money that he got. That man that's over there in some regular cheap shoes, some jeans, and a t-shirt, he putting his money. He might be investing his money. He might look at his money in a different light than versus I got to be in some fresh shoes every day.
Big fact.
That's real spit. That's real spit right there.
What's important? That's big fact.
Because us men, we do the same thing. We all, when we young, we go out looking for the biggest booty, the perkiest ones, and then we realize that wasn't a good person to be with. The older we get, we start learning.
That's why a lot of them
What's important.
models and stuff be getting them BBLs because of what you just said. We be chasing.
Me personally, I
crazy.
think it's disgusting. I don't. I mean,
Yeah,
I love
but
stretch marks. I love
that part,
the
you know what I'm saying?
imperfections of a woman. Like
That's
I think
what
to
I'm
me,
talking
that's
about.
what makes a woman
You
so
talking now
beautiful
as a grown man.
individually.
But I'm talking about when you was an irresponsible teen,
Oh yeah, when I was a teenager, I was looking for the biggest booty, the
Yeah, that's what I'm
littlest
saying.
littlest
Like,
waist, and the perkiest twins. Hell
No,
yeah, I
yeah,
was,
so
and
like
all of us
that's
were.
what that
But see,
BBL
I
thing
kept
comes
myself
from.
together, y'all.
No,
I'm not gonna
no.
lie. I kept myself together, and I feel like I'm not in agreement with women that get in a relationship and fall off. I feel like, you got to keep it. You got to keep it there.
But look at
Yes,
what you're saying. When you were younger, you liked that because that's the time that you were in. I feel like
yes,
if you alter your time, and like women are altering their time, and men can be altering theirs as well. When you alter your, you know what I'm saying, your structure. If you alter it and you work out and get that way, then that's fine. You know what I'm saying. But if you're doing it and you're adding to it, then you changing the dynamic of who you are, because that's what I mean by. So
Beautiful
when you say
heart.
the stretch marks, that means that just comes just naturally with just the natural essence of who you are.
Fact.
That's what I love about a person. That's what I'm saying. But when you get to changing things, you know what I'm saying? Like that little pudge, it may not look nice in a photo, but it looks nice because it's you. You know what I'm saying? So
Perfectly
I
imperfect.
feel where you're going with that. But what I'm saying is when people start altering things, they're changing who they are, and they're putting you in an illusion. You know what I'm saying? That's not really who you thought it was. That's who they altered themselves to be.
and
Oh,
if you
okay.
find a man that decides that he
Also a
wants
character
to
flaw.
pay for you to change your body, he told you from the very beginning he didn't like you from the beginning because he started out trying to change you.
Also,
Wow. See, that's
also
those signs that we don't watch or we don't see. But a woman may take that and be like, "Oh, girl, look, he did this. He got
You
me
want
this."
me
You know what I'm saying?
right?
But automatically, he telling you, like you just said, "No, I don't like how you are.
I
That's
don't like the
right.
way you look, so
Wow,
I'm
that's
gonna
that's
pay
true.
$60,000 to make you look the way I want you to look, and basically turn you into a fake doll.
But if I
Equals
have
too.
it and it's nothing to me, you know what I'm saying? You would think that it's something to you. You know what I'm saying?
I'll
Right.
peep
So
game too. So a woman that gets that gym body from hard work, that
Yep.
shows you that she's got dedication. She
yes,
can hit a wall and then get herself around it or over it or
Absolutely.
find a way out of something. So that shows me that you have character. That shows me that you got discernment, you got discipline. That's a whole bunch of other stuff that I will see if you are working for it. Whereas a chick that got a BBL, to me, that's a character flaw. That means that you were insecure, you weren't willing to put the work in, or you hit a wall and then you couldn't see yourself getting over it, so you had to find a cheat code around it. You know what I'm saying? So
And
we're slowly.
I gotta wait 20 years to watch you to make sure that you don't get sick or something happens or something goes wrong because of that. And then I
That's
gotta
true.
try to figure out how to keep you healthy and to keep you living because now I love you,
Or you just be
right?
shot with a BBL.
That's true. Now you know what? Wait a minute. I know somebody done had 3 BBLs and she's still 250.
Because she still eat the same way she did. She
I'm
just
like,
keep
good
That's right.
God, girl, you don't need no
existed.
more now.
You can't go get a tummy tuck and then eat the same way you was eating.
Yeah,
You
but
can't
most
go
of
and
them
get
do.
surgery and I mean you have to do some kind of a change or your body's gonna do the same
Hmm.
exact thing.
That's right.
You
Matter
know,
of fact,
and
That's why.
it's
men
bigger.
love the fact. I'm gonna tell you, a sex something that is just amazing, just sexy to me about a woman is a woman's drive. When a woman sees that I got this little pudge right here, and she gets off her ass every day, she goes to the gym, she does her workout, she does her things. That shit is attractive as hell to a man.
Smexy as hell. Yes, I agree.
Yeah, because I know this. If I fall, I know you got me. I know it. I know you got the drive behind me, and you gonna push me too, because you're not gonna let me fail.
Hey,
Big
I
facts. We
want to
can
tell
get it
y'all
hey,
something
together.
that
hey,
a
hey,
girl said to me at my job. Oh,
does
go ahead,
that put
baby.
you in creep mode that you want to smell a woman after she done did all that good exercising like that?
Have no idea. Like you got me. I'm putty in your hands. Whatever you like.
You feel what I'm saying? My fault, my fault, my fault. I'm off
Yes.
topic. I'm off topic. My fault, my fault.
I mean, it depends on how
Hey, that's
hard.
the bigger play right there.
Depends on how hard
He
you
was
work
about to
and
say it
He
sometimes
ain't
depends
you
on
caught
gotta
how
get
that.
hard.
down.
He didn't get it.
She might be a little musty though. But hey.
Yeah, bro. Hey, you gonna be like dude from Sinners, man. I just want to taste you. So, I
I
want her.
Hey,
think the
look,
big
hey, look,
I
hey,
think
look.
the
When you
biggest
said,
part
hey,
is
look,
y'all like
hey,
we
look.
don't
When
see
you
the
said,
normal people. We don't get normal people no more. The normal people we stay at home, y'all. We do we take care of our business and we don't get to talk amongst normal people. Only thing we see is the ones that's trying to keep up with the Joneses.
and when you
And
said,
that's what our
when he
go
said, I
ahead.
just want to taste you, I want you to know, I thought that you meant the shoulder blade.
Oh
That's
no,
what I
no, I was
thought.
talking about what dude with
I'm
Sinners
just
was
saying.
talking about. He was
He,
talking about them sugar walls. He said, he
uh,
said,
uh,
he said,
did
I need to clean up a little bit. He said, no, man, I just want to taste you.
it all depends on your perception of the thought. You understand what I'm saying? It's the bigger play, man. You got to think of the bigger side of things.
I
He
ain't mad
wants
if
to
you want to lick
take.
shoulders,
He
man.
wants
That's all
that
good.
shoulder that would have been her though. That's her essence. I understand that essence too, though. But you know,
I might have to try that one day. I ain't know nothing about that one. That's a different play for me. I'm gonna try it though.
Y'all so funny. Anywho, somebody change the subject.
Truth. It's the truth, man.
Comfortable,
Like
Christine.
I said, we simple, man. Real simple. We ain't hard. We
Yeah,
real
I
simple.
know that.
You ain't
I
never
know
had
that.
you ain't never had your shoulder tasted.
Man, I was married from 18 to 30. I'm not gonna tell y'all anything.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave that alone. Um, but no, and I also feel like a woman that do get all those surgeries and stuff like that, they're not confident. Like I've had the option of getting my my surgery on my eye, on my right eye, and I declined it. I'm confident. I don't care that it's just there or it's a little low. I don't care. I'm confident with it. And I think confidence also speaks on a different level of beauty too. But I don't think a lot of women understand that.
A woman can walk in a room and not say a word and get everybody's attention.
Yeah.
She doesn't have to say a word. Like back in the day, like when men used to go and cheat on their wives, the women didn't beat them up with their words. The woman whooped their ass with how good of a woman she was.
Yeah.
To where the man eventually was like, damn, I'm a piece of crap. You know, I done did this woman dirty. And she changed that man without saying a word. Like, women have all the power, but I think women have forgotten how to use their power. Women don't have to say a word and they can get whatever they want.
Well, you can blame
But
feminism for that. It kind of shaped
wait,
and shifted stuff.
what's that?
Feminism, it shaped and shifted a lot of stuff, and I mean, kind of. I won't say.
Yeah, because there were women that would be
No,
quiet. You know,
hold on.
think about that woman that walks
Let
in
me
a
rephrase
bar.
what I
Go
said.
ahead.
Not feminism, but the third wave and fourth wave of feminism has changed the narrative.
Hey, but what
Newer
he,
version of feminism.
you ever seen the movie Wolf of Wall Street? The woman motivated him to, to achieve astronomical things. So in a way, I do really believe what he's saying is true. A woman can make a man do things that he, just think about the things that he do when he's hurt. You know what I'm saying? How it heightens his awareness of that essence of her. So if she's in tune with him and he's in tune with her, she can heighten him to do things that he didn't even believe that he can achieve, because that's that feminine and that masculine coming together, combining with one another. So I think that's where we lost. Well, as the male and the female, or the genders, I think that's where we're clashing at, because we're not using that power to empower one another's. We're using that power to empower one another's, or overpower one another's. But if you ever watch the movie Wolf of Wall Street and see how that woman inspired him, and she inspired him to do things that he didn't know he can achieve. And that's the dynamic of the two. And I think that's what we're losing, because they've they've monetized, you be this way, and you can have this, instead of realizing that it takes a battery, it takes a $3 battery to function something that may cost, what are those things that you put on your eye, the gargles, the iPad gargles? It may take something that costs $10 to power that, but that product costs $2,000. So you may have somebody that has nothing and someone that has something. If you put those together, they can make some dynamic. But the way society has it, if you don't have this and you ain't got that, y'all can't be this. You know what I'm saying? So we're distorted. The frequency is off. That's why I'm going with it. And that's why I believe we're distorted and the gender war is happening, because we can't allow each other to play those roles without having entitlements, or you have to be this way or you have to have that. And that's where I'm going with it.
What happened? We got lost?
No, he was finished making a statement.
Oh, okay.
All right, Sarge was trying to come in.
I lost. My thing got froze over there. I'm trying to fix it. I
I
think we've
want
been.
Miss
How long you think
Monica to
we?
come in because she said that she made a statement. Um,
How long you think we've been on? Cause it get froze after we been on for like 2 hours. You think we've been on 2 hours or what?
yeah, it's getting close to it.
Okay, it's starting to freeze up. What she say though?
She said feminism has been used the wrong way.
I did kind of generally use it the wrong way. There's been like four waves of feminism. The first one was like, voting rights, and then the second one was choice of working and stuff like that. But like the new age feminism is kind of like what happened when you already won and you still asking for shit. It's kind of like, to me, it seems like new age feminism is more about dominance than it is about equal rights now.
That's true.
That's true. That's true.
I can see your
I
point
don't
on
even
that.
I don't even like that. Uh, I can't agree on a lot. Well, let's just say 70% of what the feminism stuff is. I can't agree with a lot of it because it's to me it almost seems weird. It almost seems like they're gearing us towards the community that's just focused around all women, period. And
Facts.
just exiting the man completely out. That's impossible. I can't get with anything like that.
I agree. I mean, you know what? But I think here's another problem. I think is that I got a lot of problems with that. The first problem I would say is that I feel that black men and black women never really had to deal with any issues that feminism is dealing with because black men never really had any power. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let Monica speak first, and then I'll interject unless you.
Yeah. Hello. How are y'all tonight?
Well, and yourself.
Going.
Well,
Good.
Good.
Thank you. Hi. Thanks for letting me out. You know what I meant by that, Christina, was like what you're exactly trying to say. Like the feminism movement is starting to create these um, gender wars between a man and a woman in that sense. It's okay to be part of feminism in the empowerment of our education, our view on equal rights in the sense that we are equal humans, right? We shouldn't be at the position where we were 50 years ago, right? We should always continue to move forward. I think as human beings in general, right? Regardless of our genders, we all should have that same equal space to express, to have our views politically, to have work hard and still be equally in a position where we can get the equal pay that we deserve, right? We've always been behind the mark on a lot of things. Even women and men, we bring a lot to the table in general, but when we come together, I mean, the force is unstoppable, right? The buildup between a woman and a man, the values that we both bring to each other, and then the prize at the end of the day is how you grow and grow your family and leave your legacy in life, right? But that feminism of, debate between um, always putting the man in the wrong sense of the light, you know what I mean, and the against the man, right? That's where that feminism is being um,
Toxic.
used, like weaponized, right? It's used in such a wrong manner that people are really taking hold of that, and it's dangerous at this point in time. Yeah, yeah, that's all.
No, I
Yeah, I'm
completely
glad
agree.
you explained it that way because that's absolutely correct. It's almost like they've created that to just use it as a weapon.
Right.
And it's annoying. It
Yeah,
really is because
I
they're
think
on
that
every podcast.
Yeah. I think the thought process in the beginning was supposed to be in a healthy manner, right? To push us, to like catapult us, right? To a position where now a lot of women have the ability to know that, hey, yeah, I can go out and vote. Hey, I can go get a degree. I could be a doctor. I could be a lawyer. I could be a dentist. I mean, especially in dentistry. I'm in dentistry, and dentistry was an old boys club. You know what I mean? It's like when you see a woman dentist around, and that started in like the 70s, it was so hard for them women to like kind of fit in that group, right? But now more and more you see that, right? And at the end of the day, you see a lot of people gravitating more to wanting to have a woman dentist than a man dentist because of the softness that we bring to that hard field, you know? So we play very important positions in every aspect of the world, and so do men. So
So let me ask you this: do you think I'm not going to presume your race or anything like that, but do you think that feminism was something that that black women in general had to face? Like the issues that a lot of white women face. Do you think that
What up?
is
Well,
something that black women faced
I mean,
in their own community?
yes and no, because like I think it was started by a YT women majority of it, right? In that sense, but
Mm-hmm.
I think that BOK women. I'm actually half black, half Korean, but I
Mm-hmm.
think that black women already had feminism in the bag. You know what I mean? That was something that we already had prided in ourselves, right? I almost think they tried to up us on that and got those ideas from us in that sense, meaning the good part of feminism, right? The part of us wanting to be the stronger, right? Wanting to have the education first, wanting us to have the rights. You know, it was almost like YT women, you already have rights in general, but for them to try to disregard the patriarchy in that feminism, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that's like the biggest part that I think is missed by a lot of people is that was something that like black women really didn't face because the matriarchy of a family was something that was a real thing. It was something that could have occurred. You know what I mean? There was more of an equal footing. I think that like feminism, black women were used just strictly as a numbers basis. You know what I mean? They overlooked what the problems and the they overlooked the specific problems of the black woman, and they just got everybody behind their problems, the problems that they wanted to adjust with. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think that often is the biggest problem with dealing with certain organizations. And I think that is the reason for having individuality and being able to come together under an umbrella so that way you can face what your specific problem is because sometimes it gets lost in the shuffle, you know.
I also think with the issue with black men is black men we've had everything against us hell since we've been here. And when the feminist movement came, it made a lot of black men feel like, well, damn, now I got somebody else attacking me. I got somebody else telling me what I'm not doing. And a lot of men, a lot of black men opted out. They said, well, if you want to be the man, go ahead. I've been trying to do this all this time. If you understand what I'm saying.
No, I agree. I think, but we were already doing that, and I think that's what makes it even worse. Is that it's like we already were giving you your power. You know what I mean? We already were facilitating more than what the other person is facilitating, and you still shooting us. So like, I can't win for losing type.
It's like, right, I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't. So I'm just
Yeah.
going to opt out, throw my hands up and move on.
So one more thing, and then Monica, I want you to interject and like correct me if I'm wrong. I also feel as though that the feminist movement has been hijacked by the LGBTQ. I'm sorry, or should I say the rainbow, or even the sexual liberation. I don't think that those two movements in particular really have anything to do with the feminist movement, but I think they hijacked it and they perverted it, and I think that also has a big impact the gender wars that we have right now. What do you think?
Yeah, 100% agree with that, you know? The anger that comes behind that, right? That in that community.
As a competitor, his blood's boiling, and he's gonna come back the next day and ready to go.
Breaking up.
Damn,
She's
you
breaking
making it hard. You making it hard to have an argument. We're on the same page.
Yeah. I don't think the women
Yeah.
that have been on this panel, period, I don't think any of us are against each other. I think we're trying to all figure out how to make it work, how to piece things together and just try to bring us back to each other. I think that's what we're trying to do.
That's the beautiful. That makes it more beautiful.
Exactly. We're gonna
Yeah,
have some
because
bad apples
this is
come in and
crazy.
say things. We're gonna have some bad apples come in and say things that makes no sense. We're gonna have people come in and be totally against it. But hey, that's them. That's how you know they don't belong and leave them where they're at.
Right.
They'll realize it once they're 55. And hey, you know,
Mm-hmm.
but this was a great conversation here. I think we did pretty good. I really think we did it.
Can I
I
ask
have to
another
say
question?
this is about the only live I've ever walked in with this actual conversation, and ain't nobody screaming and yelling at each other.
We appreciate you too, Sarge. We appreciate Monica 5280, Christina. You already know what it is. Inspiring resolution. We appreciate y'all because y'all able to have an intelligent conversation where people could just listen and hear each other. We did pretty good today. You know, sometimes it can get a little aggressive, but we doing pretty good. We're gonna try to show up on a regular so we can just start having these conversations. Don't be pushed back. It's sometimes gonna be a little rough, but we appreciate you guys and input and insight. Well, how you doing, Bobby? My boy, how you doing?
Favo, yeah.
We appreciate you coming on in. You can
What
speak
is
to
the
it. You can speak it
I didn't know
if you
what the
like
topic
to.
was. I'm sorry.
We couldn't hear you.
I didn't know what the topic was for today.
Go ahead, guys. Talk to her. Let her know what's going on, Christina.
It's about gender wars. How do you feel about what's happening in the male and the female? How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the changes and stuff that's going on?
I mean, I don't know exactly that. They don't really give me too much detail, but I can tell you this. I'm a married woman. I was raised by a mother and father. What I can say is that off of the last live that I got on, I feel like it's a lot of conversation that need to be held as far as like when you're in relationships and things like that, or even before you get in relationships, when you're dating. There's a lot more questions that need to be asked more than how much money you make. That is weird to me. And I just feel like it's a lot more things that need to be talked about so we can have a whole lot more families than it is broken families. That's what I feel.
Yes, I agree.
Because in a lot of these situations, people end up being in relationships with people, and then you find out he don't have a good relationship with his mom, or she don't have a good relationship with her dad. Because two things can be true at once. There'd be a lot of stuff going on, and it causes chaos because they may like each other, but they ain't equally yoked at all. So then it makes it messed up. We were talking about like the things that men appreciate and the things that women appreciate in a relationship. So like for me, I said like if I'm doing something like, okay, let's say we move into a new house and I've decorated the house. I don't want you to come in the house and just walk past everything and act like you don't see everything that I just put up in this house. Like you don't see the pictures and everything decorated. And then the men said, well, don't act like when I'm giving you flowers and doing stuff like that, like don't act like you don't see the things I'm doing for you. So I feel like two things can be true at the same time. I don't know.
You know, and you said it.
You said it.
You said it.
Said it.
Reciprocity.
So gender
Love is
wars
give
is
and
just
take.
about, I feel like, just listening to people. My man told me one time, he said, because he works in law enforcement, he said he likes to tell me about everything that's happening on his shift. And at some point, I was like, I don't want to hear this. Like, bro, I really don't want to listen to you talk about this every single freaking night. But he said, if I don't talk about it to you,
Yeah.
then who you think I'm going? Who I'm going to talk about it to?
One of my partners, he in law enforcement, and he work in one of the joints here in Illinois. And like 2 months ago, he called me, one of our guys. I didn't know because he worked with him. I didn't get the call till like early in the morning. He called me and told me one of our guys had committed suicide. And he was probably 42, and he was married with kids. And we didn't see whatever was going on with him. They do their investigation, but he really did kill himself. Same dude called me yesterday and said one of our other guys killed himself this morning. I mean,
Yeah, it's a lot
yesterday
to
morning.
take on.
Yeah, so and I was asking him, I'm like, man, bro, how do y'all? He different. He a little different because he go out, he live his life. But these guys, are not into drugs. They you know, they're professionals, but this job must be of a certain burden because it's of a high rate here in Illinois, probably across different places. So it's good
I'm in
to let them be
Indianapolis,
able to
so you
talk.
know I'm close to you
Yeah, you
guys.
right down the street. So it's good to, you know, allow people that space if that's their profession and that's who you chose to be with, because people be taking this stuff. You shouldn't take the job home with you and things like that, but people take it with them. And
Mm-hmm.
it'd be strenuous to some people where they actually, you know, unalive themselves. And it's
Yeah,
sad.
but like you
It's
said, if
sad.
I can't talk to you about it, then who I'm gonna talk to it to? I can find me somebody to talk to about it.
Yeah,
And I was thinking, like, as a married woman, like, bro, I'm not gonna let you're not about to talk to nobody else about it. Go ahead and talk to me about it,
yeah.
and I'm gonna let you get that off.
Those jobs
But
be a little different.
that's
They
the
be a little
sacrifice
rough.
you gotta make.
Yeah, because I hear a lot of people doing
And
that.
I
You
think
know,
that's where, oh, sorry.
go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, I think that's where we have that back to the prompt of where the gender war happens, right? Where in between, even in a relationship, you can have uh, these gender disconnects, right? My man should be my man, and he shouldn't have a space for vulnerability. He shouldn't be whining about his job. I'm not the one to vent to, but that's the wrong antics to think about,
It is.
because like your man, yeah, because just like your man said to you, and thank goodness he did say that. I mean,
Yes.
props to him for
Right,
communicating
right,
properly,
right. I'm
right?
thinking so
Yeah,
many
for
of them
him
don't
not
say
just,
that.
yeah,
They hold it.
exactly. And
Yeah.
they'll just step away and say, oh, this is how she feels. Well, guess what? Margaret listens to me all day at work. You
Uh-huh.
know, and now me and Margaret are getting closer and closer
Yep.
and closer and closer, right? And you would have no clue that that's happening. But
Exactly.
also, kudos to you for even speaking up and saying, "Hey, babe, man, this is taking a toll on you as
But
well."
that's not even the worst. I mean, that's a bad situation, but it's not even the worst because worst case scenario, he could be bringing that back home to where he starts imploding or exploding on the family. Or
Exactly, taking it out in a different
yeah, like
aspect, right?
you
Yeah.
that's a healthy way for him to happen. I mean that
And
to
I
handle it.
really had to learn how to listen. I did not like just be me being the person that I was and being alone for as long as I was, and then becoming to being in a marriage. It was really hard for me, but I had to just listen. Like,
What
you know
helped you
what?
get to the stage to that point? What helped you? What motivated you? Where was you able to
Because
find
he's
that?
such a good man. He's such a good man. He's a good provider, and he's great to my kids. And he didn't have to take on those stepchildren, but he did. So the least I can do is listen to what he's saying when he's coming home from work. I don't care how it feels. He need to get it off. Get it off, bro.
Man, that makes you an
Yeah,
amazing wife, man.
It's a good thing.
exactly.
It take you a
Yeah.
point to get there. It wasn't all peaches and creams, but we got there.
That's
But
good
that's the
because
thing, the
y'all
healthy
fought too. Right,
communication
right.
and the adjustments that it takes to be in a marriage,
Those are
right?
simple to
Everybody
make
has
though.
to
Yeah,
adjust. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we all have to adjust accordingly, coming
Mm-hmm.
from a different lifestyle, coming from a different background. We all have to make adjustments in a relationship to make it
And it
work.
ain't
If you can't
easy.
adjust,
No,
yeah, if you
you're
can't
supposed to be.
adjust and bend, well, then you will be lonely and you will be toxic
Right.
and you will be the person against all the time. Like I said, that is the perfect example of effective communication to stop something before it starts something,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, yes, that
I
is a
don't want him
perfect
talking to
example.
nobody else and telling Margaret and
Of
stuff,
course,
stuff.
but
Then
at
she
least
start
at
bringing
least
him food to work and
yeah, but
stuff.
he warned you. He didn't warn you in that sense in a
Yeah.
bad way. He put it out there. He said, "Well, listen, like I said, and you don't want him talking to
Heck
that Margaret at
no.
work because she's listening all day. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We don't want
But think
that,
What if
about
she
the
making
right?
women.
better food than me or something like that? I ain't got time for that.
But think
We
about the
ain't got
women
time
that
for
don't
that.
catch on to that. They don't see
Yeah.
that their man is suffering. Think about the women that don't do that. How do those men turn
No.
out? They don't.
And how those men feel
Thank you.
internally. Like we don't give men enough space and grace to be their vulnerable selves, because
Right.
a man is not going to be vulnerable if he doesn't feel like he trusts that woman either.
Right.
Because women are very devious in the fact, we all know that we like to use little things to get back because we're not masculine. So our
Woo!
whipping tool is our tongue.
Y'all,
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
y'all
it
cooking.
really
Yeah.
is.
So
God
yeah.
damn.
And then we regret it
Cause
immediately,
I be
That
right? But then
calling
we
that
him.
can't.
I be saying little things to him. He be like, "You know what? What you really need to do is quit talking to me like that. Stop talking to me like that." And I'd be like, "What am I talking like?" But I didn't see it as like a bad thing. But he let me know, like, and I was like, "You know what? I wouldn't want you talking to me like that. I work in the hospital field, so I see a lot of stuff too. But I don't bring it back to the house. But we two different people, so I can't make him be the same way as I am. We different." So he respects me and I respect him, but I had to learn that. That wasn't nothing that came off naturally to me. But now it is. It's just like, just let him get it off and listen to him and respond back. Don't just listen, but I actually respond back. Like, that is crazy what happened.
man, right now, what I'm hearing right now is extremely beautiful, man. I almost got a tear in my eye, man. Y'all is awesome. What we got going on here is amazing. This is growth right here, and this is, yeah. I mean, this, y'all need to be preaching to other women.
Well, I've done that, and I got attacked.
It's
I got.
it's gonna
Oh
happen,
man,
man.
it was
Martin Luther King got
terrible.
attacked.
Me too. I done got attacked. Like, so what? Like, so what? He should just be able to be a strong man and he should just do this and that. And I'm just
But
like,
and those the same women that tell their little boys growing up, stop crying when they hurt, when they something's wrong with them. Stop crying. And they grow up and they don't
yeah.
say nothing. They don't say nothing. Now they can't talk. That's
Mm,
the problem.
And now he just gonna cheat
this
on
is
you.
beautiful.
Yeah, they can't talk because you told them to shut up, be quiet all their life.
Yep. That's not a setup for a good relationship. It do
No.
take work. You got to put in the work if you really love
You
that
know,
person.
one other thing that I heard that was like profound. It was amazing. Is that you heard something, didn't internalize it, and then put yourself in a position where you can grow. And it sounded like you said he did the same thing. And that is one of the most beneficial things that you can have in a relationship to keep it going. That's sustainability right there.
It does
The
go both
ability to,
ways. Like if you can't walk into a house and see me, like when we move into our new
oh, I
house, you
agree.
see me decorate everything and then just walk past it and go use the bathroom and then act like you don't see all these pictures and everything in its perfect place and stuff like that and just be like, yep, well, nothing.
Oh, no, I agree. I mean, for me, I think like we bought a new house, and we was talking to the people about, like, doing renovations and stuff, and we was talking like, well, we need new floors, we don't want these carpets, you know what I mean, we moved in the house, the bathroom was pink and all types of nastiness and stuff, and they started talking prices, and it's like, all right, well, look, I'm about to get on this YouTube, I'm about to talk to my friends that are plumbers and electricians, and I'm gonna figure this shit out. I'm gonna learn some new skills to add into it, and then that makes it easier. That alleviates the stress from the other person, my wife, and she don't have to worry about how we're gonna pay for shit because I'm putting it in my goddamn self.
Just like a person that likes
Learning
to
new
decorate or
skills.
something like that. Like if you see it, like
Yeah,
don't act
and it
like you
gave her.
don't see it and then just
Yeah,
so the things I have
so they
about
give that
him, what he said
ability to
about
do that.
me, I was just like, well, I want you to be more romantic, like how you was in the beginning. We need to
So you
have
can
date night,
you guys
and we
can
need to
the
have do things
complementary
like
things to
that
each other. Yeah,
again.
I mean that gives, when you can learn and grow, hear what somebody say, and then actually apply it.
Yes,
That gives you the ability, the flexibility to, you know what I mean, to reciprocate in a different type of way that you didn't even know that you could do it before, because you're empowered. You know what I mean? You're motivated on a different level. It's like, oh, well, I ain't never learned how to build a house, but shit, I'm gonna figure it out because this woman's awesome. And then she gonna be like, well, I'm gonna figure out how I'm gonna do all these other things to add value to the crib. I'm gonna start doing all this. I'm it just, it's a beautiful thing, man. To hear this type of success.
true, so true.
I
You
think
gotta
we all will be
understand each
good.
other.
I think we all will be good once we just learn to just weed out the ones that just don't want it and just cleave to the ones that want it. And we got to
There's a
stop
lot of
trying to
people that
change
don't
other
want it.
people. We can't change anybody. If you see that this person doesn't want what you want and they don't have that, they're not yoked with you, just bounce out completely. Don't try to make it fit because it's gonna fail.
There's
And
There's
we
not
have
enough
issues
people
like
them.
leaving when they need to leave.
yeah, they're not leaving when they're trying to make it work because they've introduced SMEC so fast and now their emotions are tied up because it creates emotions. I mean, it makes you feel something for that person, especially if it's good,
It
you
makes you
know?
feel like a false feeling of like you got to be committed to this person, and they neither one of them don't.
Right. I feel like people should just, once you realize this person is not it, bounce out and go. Because people will show you signs almost like right there. I mean, you can pick up in a conversation if
Oh yeah,
somebody,
immediately.
yeah, I don't see why people can't see that. Like,
Because they
I
not
don't get
asking the
it.
right questions. The first thing they ask is how much money you make, where
Yeah.
you work at, and that is not important. Like these city
No.
girls and these weird people that be out here, and these city guys. It be city girls and city guys.
Yeah, I would say that monetary stuff, it makes it hard for both sides because, like you said, you got the chicks who are focused on the money, but then you got the dudes who are focused on trying to show that they got the money, and then there's no quality, there's no character that's being evaluated at that point. It's just
No,
money,
they
or
don't
it's
know nothing
just the
about your
hype. It's
life
the
or anything.
superficial bullshit that ain't gonna lead to no sustainability.
So superficial. Yes.
There it is. The thinking of shallow thinking of like visuals. Everything is so visual as well, you know?
That's why
He
we got to
take you
do
to
our
his
best.
house. He got a nice house. He might take you out to dinner, and you have a nice dinner or whatever, and he paid for it or whatever, and you ain't asking no questions. You ain't asking. He might hate his mama, and you don't even know it because he took you to a nice dinner, and now
I,
you wondering why he talking to you crazy for no reason.
I will say that the liking of parents, it takes a specially healed person to do it, but I don't think that that's like the end all be all. Like, like some people just have really bad situations and they just
Yeah,
have
it don't
yet
have
to
to
heal
be.
from
Yeah,
it. You know, but I
I
agree. I
agree.
get what you're saying though. Like if you got issues with parents and stuff and you haven't healed, that shows that you don't have the ability to get over certain issues. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to have a certain level of growth to just accept the bull crap, even when somebody else ain't willing to accept it, so that you can grow and you can move on past it.
I agree. And listen to your partner. Listen to what they saying.
Facts.
Cause they ain't lying. Cause like he's like my husband has said to me, if I can't talk to you about what's going on at work, who I'm gonna talk to?
Mm-hmm.
That scared me.
Y'all are awesome. Like for me, we had to use the safe word so that there can be like the defense mechanisms could be taken down. Like you got to prepare me if you gonna come at me with some crazy stuff. Like our joint is like pin the cat back blue. If I say that, my wife knows. All right, he about to say some shit that might piss me off. So let me prepare myself for this conversation. And it's the same thing for me. Like when you say it,
Yeah.
I know to prepare myself so that I'm not being defensive and all that stuff. But I
And I
love
feel
the
like
fact
he
that
has
y'all don't
grown
need
in
that.
that way. Yeah. Where he knows like it's like everything ain't worth the argument. And that's for the ladies too. And I do go on different platforms and I talk on different things, but it's like everything ain't worth the argument. Some stuff you just gotta what they say, table it. Just chill out. Wait
Mm-hmm.
till y'all both in a clear space where y'all can actually talk about something. Everything ain't worth the argument. Just because you ain't put down the toilet seat, even though I done told you
Mm-hmm.
1,000 times, and it makes me mad because I don't like to go in there and see the toilet seat up. I'm not going to argue with you about it every single day.
You wouldn't like it over here, man. We got 3 boys. It's four. It's three. Well, it's 3 boys and a man in this house. Them boys don't never put that feet
Those
down.
arguments are worthless arguments. That's just a
Yeah.
thing of life with genders, right? Men are gonna leave the toilet seat up. I mean, I grew up with my brother, right? I fell in the toilet seat,
Yeah.
right, in the toilet, going in
I
the
don't-
dark, right? But those are things that are just gonna happen, like hair in the shower for a woman. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Hair on the sink.
Long ago.
Hair in the
Always like,
sink.
can you pick up your hair? And it's like, I can, but you'll have to live with that probably for the rest of your life. And I'll have to live with always putting the toilet seat down. Not a big deal.
How
Not a
that
big
song
deal.
go? You got to know when to fold them, know when to hold them,
Gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
know when to walk away, know when to run.
Right. That is so true.
And that's what I call like pettiness, right? When you bring pettiness into a relationship, it's like, come on, and once again, gender. We're different genders. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. We're different
I
creatures,
feel the same.
right?
I got 4 kids, 2 girls, and I got 2 boys.
Yeah.
It's a respect thing. We just gotta learn how to respect one another and just just not take advice from places that we know aren't genuine. Matter of fact, keep your stuff in house.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Oh,
with
no, that's
that.
true. But I will say what you said, just to add, is that you have to have valuable counsel. Like, you
Yeah.
have to have good counsel. You just can't be getting counsel. Like, people be out here listening to these people who ain't never been in a relationship, only had situationships, and they be like, oh, well, I'm going to listen to this person's relationship advice. What they going to teach you?
Nothing.
How to fail? Like, you know what I mean? If you have enough discernment, then you can learn how to win from their failures. But everybody don't have discernment enough to, win from somebody else's failures.
I totally agree. It be
Yep.
a lot of people out here trying to give advice
Want what you
that don't have nobody, and it be like I was single for a long time before I got married to my husband. We've been married for 5 years now, but I think about the times when I was single and all the stuff that I went through with all, just dating, and then why am I giving him such hard grief when I've been through worse?
So what you think was the turnaround point for you?
I feel like when I started getting more, and not to get deep, when I started getting more into like the word and stuff like that, and just seeing like how my mother and father was, like I grew with both my parents, like just seeing how that relationship was, it was like Monica from Love and Basketball. Mama, I seen you make a whole dinner, then Daddy came home with pizza. Just different little stuff like that just made me into a different person. But I love my mom, and I like the way that she is, and I understand like marriages have their up and downs and stuff like that. So I never expected nothing to be perfect, but I also learned how to listen, and I wanted him to understand my needs too, not just his, mine's too, and his. I learned how to understand that, and I feel like my parents just didn't never listen to each other.
I will say this, and I think that old saying that our parents, and I'm sure your parents, everybody's parents on here, then said, I think sometimes we are victims of not staying in the child's place. Growing up, I think that I mean I understand what you're saying though, and I don't want to discredit what you're saying, but I think that a lot of times, even like I know because I might have like a argument or something with my wife, or it's not even an argument. It's just be like us having a difference of opinion, and sometimes the kids might be internalizing stuff a different way because we don't argue in front of them. We just we do have our spirited discussion. But I think when the kid ain't when a kid's poking their head and stuff, certain situations kids shouldn't even know about at all. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it ain't happened in my life, but I know there's been points in time where it's like infidelity or, like the dad is not with the mom and the mom's talking trash in front of the kids. Like, that ain't the kid's business, man. You gotta let your kid make their own decisions. I work in the judicial system, and I talk to a lot of kids that have a lot of fucked up perspectives about their fathers or the other parent that's not in their life. And one of the main things I always tell them is that once you get to a position where you understand, like where you feel as though that you're healed enough, get both sides of the story. You know what I mean? Because one side might necessarily not be telling the truth. We all know this. There's three sides of the story. There's the his, hers, or yours and theirs, and then the truth. And the truth usually comes around in the middle. So, like, I think that's one big thing that we need to, add into that when we're, bringing in any kind of trauma from our childhood is that we don't have the full perspective of the story. We don't have to understand the story fully. My bad. Go ahead. I was long winded. I'm gonna land it right there.
No, I was just saying, agreeing with you. Keep the kids out of it. It's the worst thing to talk about your ex around your children or anything, and to give a false perspective of them. They should not know anything about that. They shouldn't be burdened with the problems.
But I also want them to get in some, I don't know if that's a word, normality, but I want them to know that sometimes, yeah, we might get into an argument together. That don't mean it's supposed to get violent. That don't mean it's supposed to get none of that. We just having a disagreement. Daddy don't agree with me, and I don't agree with him. But he feels how he feels. I feel how I feel. But we still gonna be together, and we still gonna come together and make it right. With my parents, I just feel like they never went to that extent to explain nothing to nobody. They just was arguing. Or sometimes it'd be really great. Most of the time it was really great. But I still understand that that's what happens.
Well, I think that's beautiful though, because and not that part, the last part that you're talking about, but more so the part that where you were talking about that your kids see y'all having a disargument, an argument, but then coming to a solution in a positive way. That's the part that I think is
Right.
beautiful. Like
That's the biggest thing.
but I think like often what we see when people be talking about like it's women and men, they be talking about like, oh, back in the day men were better. But I feel as though that honestly we're in a position, we're in a day and age where we are the most healed, we're also the most educated, and we have the ability to take away a lot of the positive things that occurred back in the day and leave the negative things back there too. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's the thing that we be missing. Like when a lot of women be like, "Oh, well, women were handcuffed financially by their man back in the day." Like we know that that's a problem. So now that you have your your finances, and I got my finances, we don't need to put finances as a thing in between us to keep us from becoming amicable. Winning
Right.
step together, we need to use that as a tool to be more successful. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of the things that we see between us and back then, they always become the things that are like decisive tools that are used to push us further apart versus us learning from those things and then creating those bridges with those things. The
And do you
positive
have
things.
daughters?
No, I have all boys, unfortunately. I wish I had a daughter.
How many boys do you have?
I got three.
Okay, I got two
It's
boys and
12,
I
10,
got two
and 4.
girls. So for me with them is just to let them know, like with my girls, with my daughter, because she's the oldest. My baby, she's only 4, so she ain't got nothing going on, of course. But my 17-year-old daughter, what I just try to let her know is just to always, you know what I'm saying, like when you go out on dates, and her dad has told her, her stepdad has told her the same thing. When you go out on dates, make sure you have your own money, just in case he ain't got it. It's just different things that like you got to show them because they live in such a superficial city girl world where they have this thing of like, well, he supposed to pay for everything. What if he don't? What if you go and order a surf and turf, and then what's gonna happen if you don't have the money? Always make sure you have your own things when you go places. and I don't let them. I don't deal with the disrespect of men. I don't like it, and I'm not going to deal with that.
But I think, all right, so let me ask you this. Do you think that that's a result of society becoming more transactional and less reciprocity?
I think it's more transactional with this generation than it has with my generation because I'm 40 years old, so it's different
No, I
now.
agree. Because, I mean, if I ask a woman out, like when I was single, if I ask somebody out, I'm paying. You know what I'm saying? But if she asked me out, I'm not expecting to pay because you asked me out.
And
So, I
that's
mean,
what the thing is. They have to understand the difference. See, these young kids, they don't understand the difference. Like if you suggest to go out and say, hey, can you take me to this and that place? They don't understand it. In y'all mind, it's like, well, if you ask to go there, then are you paying? What's going on? They don't understand. So you have to talk to your girls or you know what I'm saying, whoever, and let them know, like, I would always pull out a card, but I always respected when the man said, no, 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 put your card up.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like for me, it's like it's reciprocity. Like if we go out 10 times and I pay for 7, but you ask me out 3 times and you pay for 3, then I mean it's cool. Or if it was 5 and 5, it don't that part don't matter about who's paying. It's for me. It's more about do you have an invested interest? Are you invested in growing with me? Are you invested in learning with me? Are
And
you
then those are
invested
conversations
in
that you have over dinner, because that's
yeah.
what dinner is about.
Yeah, like that. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. So, do you think that a lot of the disrespect stems from the fact that it's more transactional? Because when you reduce something to a transaction, necessarily people don't necessarily think that they owe the person that they're paying. I mean, the person that they're paying for a service as much respect as they do if they were, on the same. They feel as though they're a little different level. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying because it's like my son. My whole thing I do is tell him, like, you got to have these conversations when you out on the first date and see where these people's minds are, because if she don't like you like that and all you want to do is take her out, of course she's gonna keep using you to take her out. But that first time, what does she have to pay for herself?
I understand everything y'all are talking about. I absolutely agree. Um, the the gender stuff has to I don't, we just got to learn how, like I said, we just got to learn how to respect one another. This has been a great conversation. We've been on for like what? How long now? Play.
They about to kick us off in a minute. Probably
Yeah.
3 hours.
So we're gonna wrap it up for tonight. But this has been very informational
Been very good speaking with y'all.
and very good, a very good show tonight.
Great convo,
And I
man.
appreciate.
Deep, huh? Yeah. You see how different people think from different walks of life all across the world? Them and their perspectives? Who you tapped in with? It goes deep. Yes, it does. And what I want you to do is really listen to learn. And do me another favor. Because we're not stopping. Bigger play where the rubber meets the road and we get straight to it. Pay attention. Pay close attention.
And every time you bring your little girly self on here and saying something, I'ma drag you. Every time, Willie. I'm gonna drag you every time, Willie. Every time. I was just trying to get back with you yesterday. Get back with what? Get back with what? Why the fuck would I be trying to get back with you, sir? Stop lying to these people.
Do me a favor and know and pay attention to the fact that it's only a certain type of person that be with a person for 15, 20, 25 years, and when it go left, they concern themselves with downing the person that they was with. That's a certain type of individual. It's beyond a hurt individual. It's beyond a bitter individual. It's an attachment to that. And I'm asking you to pay attention because, again, This ties into the gender wars. When women start to sound and talk like a man, it's not necessary. I was always taught and always shown that a woman carry herself in a certain type of way. And if she do things that's not becoming of a woman, you do that in the privacy of your own home, your own domain, where you have privacy and you are supposed to facilitate disagreements within a private setting. It's not for the world to see. But here it is. Everybody you see it. You see it. Why is it that the breakup has to be so bad is what you have to ask yourself and pay attention to that. Because if you don't, this could and would and maybe be you in the future. Talk about this. I always recommend to people, if you're going to be in a relationship to a point where you want to spend the rest of your life with this person and you want to get married, if you're having fun, that's one thing. But if you want to get married and if you're trying to secure that nuclear family, or you're trying to secure some sort of structure, guess what you need to do? You need to tap in with the individual that you are dealing with to a point where you don't wait till it get bad to get online and be disrespectful. Because social media is here. It's here to stay, and it's not going anywhere. It's advancing. So instead of coming to the media to air out your dirty laundry, you guys go through certain channels, have certain friends and structure and family around you to help you facilitate a breakup if need be, to help you facilitate a resurgence if need be, a get back together or walk away. So we don't have to disrespect each other, even though I'm inclined to believe that when people break up and it's nasty like that, most likely both parties are still involved mentally, emotionally, spiritually, or one is and the other one's not. Clearly, we hate to see this because from where I sit, we was all advocates for Remy and Pap, period. The fact that man stood, people are downplay the sacrifices and the commitments that other people make on both sides. But we all witnessed her go to prison for a long period of time. And from where we sit, we witnessed him travel to and fro, facilitate relationships, all type of different things with family, friends, kids, just having her back. Never spoke bad about him. And if you have seen him speak bad, please send it to me. It was far few and in between. I keep my eye to the street. My ears to the street and my eyes on the prize. I watch everything, we see it all. Just because we out here and the media is not a game and cameras are everywhere. Never seen it. And now when you see them going this route, it's sad. I'm under the impression that she never loved him the way he loves her. Don't let that go over your head. Okay? We're going to leave it right there. And you see how certain things is happening as a result of the breakup. And it's a devastating thing. It really is. It's sad and it's devastating. So from my position, I'm going to just send out some positive energy and some prayer. Yeah, even though we just spoke reality, send out some positive energy and some prayer for them and their family because it's tragic. But the goal is to learn, to pay attention about how certain things superimpose on us and gender wars between us, okay? It's real serious. Last but not least, we got to touch on facts or fiction.
I left my wife because she didn't grow and evolve. We got married and I built a business and I became incredibly successful and I evolved into this whole other person. I worked on myself. I became enlightened and she just stayed who she was. She never did any of those things. She was kind and loving and a great mom and never did anything wrong. She didn't cheat on me, but it just wasn't enough. I wasn't fulfilled by that anymore, given who I had grown into And I knew I couldn't condemn myself to a life with that person who didn't do anything wrong and was a great mom, but I just didn't want it. I made that up. You never hear men say that as the reason for divorce, but you hear it from women regularly. So I want to know why. Ladies, expound upon that reason for leaving your husband. And men, did you ever feel that way, but you just never pulled the trigger? Was that a thought that crossed your mind? I want to know. Hit me up in the comments.
Gotcha. I know they was about to go in. But he right. Is it fact or fiction that you never, ever hear men talking like that? But on the other end, you always hear the women speaking like that about the man. And let's not get it twisted. Women and men cheat at the exact same rates. And if not exactly the same, they in the same playing field, they're on the same ball, they're in the same percentages. Very similar. Let's get that out the way. Next, we got to talk about the fact that 70 to 80% of women file for divorce. Irreconcilable differences. What does that mean? Anything. No fault divorce. What does that mean? Anything. I could just wake up and feel it's just exactly what he said. I outgrew him. I don't understand. We're not going in the same direction. Forget the vows. For better, for worse, Richard Ford 60 to help them do your part. I'm out of here. I ain't waiting on all that. I'm gone. All I want is happiness. When marriage is about duty, loyalty, lineage, legacy, family, structure, support, it's about that. Not about love. You can fall out of. Facts or fiction. Appreciate you being here. Gender wars. Drop them in the comments. Follow. Subscribe. Help us push this YouTube through. We showing up on the regular. We're giving you guys content. We're giving you guys game. We're giving you guys pee. We're giving you guys advice. And we're willing to take, we want all the smoke. And we're giving you interaction. We're going up everywhere. This is what we need to take up next. Bigger play.
Pastors lying to the public. They ain't got the truth in them. Lights out, gas off, bootless, this city pimping. Blocks on fire cause the homeowners broke as fuck. Taxes up, water bill higher than a semi truck. It's a bigger play. Death before dishonor is the only way. Yeah, I tried to follow but they led astray. Sorry, but